What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom with the real and reality or whatever.
Period.
I'm your host, Pharaoh. We are joined by our wonderful co-host, Lee. Lee, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Like, I really enjoyed this week. This is such a good week of Big Brother. I thought we were saying in the previous podcast, girl, when is Will going to turn it around? Like, when are we going to see how he deserved to win this season? Because, I mean, so far, it's only giving Nicole. But he really showed it this week. Like, honestly, I feel like I can describe his turnaround to Nicole's in week one. Like, and honestly, the similarity in both is just that they got up and work. People don't want to work these days. Get up and go to work. And that's what Will and Nicole did. And we mentioned it just earlier in the podcast, the previous podcast, like, people who do well, especially in these earlier seasons, are the ones who are trying, the ones who are actively doing the work. And Will and Nicole do that. I also found it interesting that they did it from the minority position. So they were kind of like forced into this, like, I have to play type of mindset. And a lot of people who are in the minority, even in these earlier seasons that we'll see, they kind of just give up, you know? So the fact that they actually, you know, put the foot to the pavement, went to work, got these votes, got people on their side, iconic. And it just honestly pisses me off more, especially because they're the final two. It pisses me off more. Nicole does not get praised like that at all. And I feel like just that happens kind of in general. Like, you don't hear too much Vanessa praise. You know what I mean? I will say Amanda, deservingly so. She's not going to get praised after that season. But I feel like even in recent history, we have Tiffany. But I can see how in a few years, I mean, people are already dragging Tiffany and trying to take away some of the things that she did on her season that happened 3 years ago. So it's like, I don't know why the women strategists don't really, I feel like, hold the test of time with some of the fans. I feel like the only one who gets like the amount of praise would be a June or a Danielle Reyes. A lot of the other girls, like, it's like watching this season, I'm like, how the fuck have I not seen praise for Nicole at all? Like, it's like small. Like, I've seen it like once or twice, but it's definitely not on the level I feel like it should be. Like, the game this girl is playing is freaking fantastic. Like, I really enjoy watching her play. It's literally similar to Will. So, like, if you like Will, why do you not love Nicole?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think it's kind of just like she's getting forgotten a little bit, because I was thinking of it earlier. Dr. Will has came back and played again. Even Danielle Reyes, she came back and played again and proved that she's that girl. Dan, he's played back and came again. It's only like the really dominant people, like Derek played once, so him getting all this praise, I think it's because he won. Same with June. June played once, but she won. So I think it's like, if you're a winner, it's easier for people to see it, and if you return, it's easier for people to see it. And a lot of women strategists don't return. Even Vanessa hasn't returned.
Because I would compare her a lot to Vanessa, but Vanessa literally hasn't returned either. So it makes sense. You're clocking.
I think a lot of the women who return are more like personalities. Like, I'm thinking Rachel Riley. Janelle comes back 3 times. But it's like, how hard, even thinking of Brittany or Davon, it's like, when they say a woman all-star, a lot of the time she's just a personality. And it's like, girl, I want to see the strategic women come back and play as well, you know?
And I thought they say no, now that I think about it. Like, I definitely could see Nicole saying no. June has said no. We know she's openly said no. Maggie gives that she's been saying no. I know Vanessa couldn't because she was pregnant. Like,
that's very true.
Maybe it's just been circumstantial. We definitely need to see Tiffany play again. Then she can't keep the trend going. She got to have that house.
Yeah. So that is interesting. I feel like Nicole's proven this week that she's that girl. I love this week. This is a great week of Big Brother. If you're a Big Brother fan, you need to watch BB2 and watch this week, because this one eats.
And Nokomis can flop for all the strategic girls.
I fear we're gonna get to the Nokomis BB Rewind, the BB4 BB Rewind, but low key BB5 BB Rewind, but low key BB4, BB5.
Oh, it's 5.
Yeah. Low key, on my rewatch when I did like a few months ago, I was like, okay, Nokomis, I mean, that's cute.
You wasn't that gagged by Nicole Cole?
Wasn't that on my rewatch? I was ungagged by so many people, even like no shade. I was like, oh, mother.
Oh, don't do
But
that.
I will say,
I'll be the judge.
and another thing to my point earlier, the second go around is usually more strategic. Danielle Reyes on her second time, I was gagged. Dr. Will on his second
Because the
time,
game progresses.
yeah. Even Dan on his second time, I was more gagged. Like you was doing a lot. You
gotta work harder. I feel like definitely if you come back and win, you work harder. Nicole, Cody, like
that's very true.
Just coming back in general. It's like and making it to like the finals or like running the game. Like you're definitely putting in work because the game has literally just progressed. Like we see in All Stars, a lot of the players from old BB All Stars 2. Old BB, they did not last that long because just genuinely the game had progressed so much that they were not able to, I won't even say keep up because I feel like that era of BB is so slow, but they weren't able to just click with the new age strategy.
Exactly. But child, let's get into the motherfucking week. Let's get into the motherfucking tea. Let's get into the motherfucking tea. So starting off this week, we know last week Shannon had just went home. So coming into this week, Dr. Will was still feeling a little sad. He was kind of a little still down. He was talking about something. I just wanted to leave with her when she walked out.
God, like, get over it, William.
That would have been terrible. I'm glad he got over that because they're not even together no more. You doing all this for a girl you're not with?
Right. They dated after the show though. So that's cute.
That is cute.
I mean, personally, I would be shading Kirby to this damn day. But
would have never let that go.
Girl, ain't you a dog?
I promise you never want to lose me.
Never want to lose me? Shit.
Yeah,
keep me a doctor. I need me as shit.
You said you need you a doctor?
Yeah.
That's what I would have said. I'm never leaving Will, but no. Here's my thoughts on Hardy. I already said my thoughts on Hardy. Hardy is just something else for me because he's crying in the diary room on some. I just didn't want to split up a couple, and I don't want to seem like that type of person. You know, it's just not something I intended to do. You didn't give a damn when you was going off on Shannon.
Didn't give a single fuck at all. And you know you didn't give a fuck. We literally saw you the entire past week wanting it to tie so you can rub it in her face that she's splitting her up for her man. You wanted this. And now you crying. I can't do it. I cannot do it. And it's like, it's just this idea. A lot of the girls accuse Nicole Frangela of this. Of you're telling the audience one thing, but you're in the house doing another. Now, we don't have like live feeds to watch and see what he's in there doing on a daily basis, but like from the edit alone, it just gives hypocrite down. It really, we've seen him do nasty things and say nasty things about other people, but then you want to come and cry like, that's not who I am. Yes, it is, girl.
Sure, Jan.
And maybe that's why he starts acting weird this week. Maybe he's starting to feel guilty about what's being shown. Like, girl, we see it. We're not done.
I don't know. I just feel like spare me. Please. Anyways,
he's fine because that's
because otherwise he would just be a punk. He's just a punk
with an
O for real. Mike is sad because he lost the HOH. He was in final 2 in the HOH and he had got it wrong on the fucking grocery store question. It comes out he has a whole restaurant. He owns a restaurant with food. And he didn't know the grocery store question. Don't know what he was thinking, but hey, that's that on that.
He needs to have his restaurant license revoked.
I don't think he's running that restaurant for real. I don't know who gave him that restaurant, but it seems like somebody handed it to him. Because how you don't know how much grocery costs? He said, he don't do grocery shopping. I haven't been grocery shopping in 2 years. Who does your shopping? Your mom?
A third
at
party.
31 years old?
A third party.
Well, who does his grocery shopping?
Oh, I feel like he probably eat from the bar, you know.
He probably just eat from the bar? That makes sense.
He gives bachelor life. You know, I'm gonna say he Uber Eats, girl. This is 2001. He probably just eats out, take out.
Just eats out. Interesting. Kit, on the other hand, is happy because he won the head of household. He's having a good old time. He's walking around in his robe. He's looking through his fridge like, I wish they would have put this in here. He's very happy, and I love that for him.
He really is a hilarious character, I will say, because he was annoying, but it's fun TV annoying because he really he pisses people off, and he just genuinely does not care. He knows he pisses people off, and he does not care. Like honestly, I hate to say it, but he's really insufferable. I can't do it, but it's good TV.
It is good TV. Love it. I kind of like it. That's the thing. a part of me, I don't know. A part of me doesn't hate Kent. Like Kent is here for the fun of it. Like Kent is great TV. I like his personality. He's someone who I like kind of wish they would cast the 2024 version of Kent. Like an older person doesn't just go home first. Like low-key Felicia. Felicia don't give a fuck. Felicia was walking around that house just saying anything.
It's just that energy of an older, more person with wisdom. Like they really don't give a damn. Like they live the life and they don't give a fuck about nobody here like that. Like
they don't care what you're talking about. They're firm in their opinion. They said what they said.
They're gonna do what they want,
and they're gonna do what the fuck they want. They don't care who's mad about it or whatever. And I love that. I really, really love that. But Kent starts talking to people.
That just made me. I really love Felicia because Felicia was great casting. She really was. We need more Felicias when we reindeer competitions.
Even thinking of like Jerry was hilarious. No,
like and Rennie, like both of them that season.
Love Rennie, bro. Like especially when they make it past those first couple of rounds. Like if they go home early, we don't really get to see their like. Even like I think Heisem was the oldest guy last season, and Heisem was hilarious. Heisem didn't give a fuck. He was very strong in his opinion, said what the fuck he said, and he was one of the most liked pre-jurors. So it's like just start the diversity of the age. It eats. So Ken starts walking around talking to people. He talks to Hardy, and he asks Hardy. He's like, "Well, I mean, who should I nom? Because of course I could do Mike and Will, but you know that's boring." And he thinks Mike and Will noms are just boring. And it's like, are you trying to be fun or are you trying to win the game?
Come on,
I wonder. So he says,
that's so hilarious from Kent, honestly. Like he just he doesn't want to do it because it's boring. Like I did not expect him to think like that, but we're here.
Like, what do you mean? So he's like, what about Mike and Krista? My first thought was, first of all, I was like, damn, not Krista already.
They got my sister clocked
already. Specifically, Kent ass is after her bad, but also I was thinking Hardy's in the Untouchables. He's not gonna like this. Like he's not gonna like this at all.
And here go Hardy. I
don't know.
And then I was gonna kind of say this for the ratings, but I feel like I can go ahead and say it now. Like that's what sucks for Krista in the position she's in, because I want to say her having a connection with Hardy is good because he's someone has his hands with a lot of pots. He can protect her. Well, this nigga ain't doing no protecting. So what good? And Hardy kind of proves that throughout the week too. Hardy is no good as an ally, unless I guess you are able to wield him. And I feel like the only other person who's able to do that is Nicole, child. Nicole. I will say I feel like if Nicole became a target, I don't feel like Hardy would necessarily protect her either because look how he's acting. I think it's just him, But Nicole's not a target.
Yep.
So Krista, girl, I don't like this at all. I love Krista.
I just feel like
I just genuinely feel like this is the first iteration of the game. I feel like Krista as a person would be able to get out of a situation like this, be a little bit more active player if this was a few seasons further. But she really just doing her. And doing her kind of got her into this quotation flirter position. And now what's happening is she's not able to do a lot of the active work to maintain it. We saw Allison and June put in a lot of work to maintain their position. But Krista, I feel like she doesn't even fully recognize the type of game she's playing. So she's not able to kind of keep up with it,
Yeah, there's layers to it. It's a difficult game to play. I feel like the path she chose was a difficult one, and you really have to continuously be on top of your shit. Mm-hmm. And I feel like she's not really continuously on top of her shit. And that's the issue. Also, Kent, because Krista nominated Kent first. And he mentions that later on as one of his reasons too. And it's I kind of forgot about it, but it's that's kind of a part of Kent's reason.
She should have made them forget about it.
Right. But I do feel with Kent is a person who, that person who was oh, they're not going to win an HOH. You can't assume that in Big Brother, but Kent is kind of that archetype. Who would have expected Kent to have won this? Also, who would have expected Chilltown to just not win any? There was a lot of, I guess, not good luck towards Krista's way, because a lot of winners are just lucky as well. The right person wins the right comp at the right time. If Nathan didn't win the veto, Allison would have gotten 7th, in her season. So it's especially with the game you playing, you got to have a little bit of luck. And Chilltown, because who got second this HOH? Mike.
And then last week, Shannon.
and Shannon. And it's like, if Mike Boogie won this HOH, Krista's not touching the block. And it's like, it's easy to say that, but it's also true. It's just true. It's just like, you just get lucky sometimes, and sometimes you just get unlucky. And I think this is just a very unlucky situation because people don't even agree with Kent. People don't want this to happen. They don't want this to be the nominations. Kent is very stubborn. He's very he's going to stand his ground, and it's rare that he will win HOH. And honestly, is he even going to last longer after this? I guess we'll see. But Kent then asked Monica the same question if he should nominate Krista. And it's like, okay, either they're doing a good job at hiding who they with, or Kent is dumb.
I honestly saw this as, girl, Monica must be that damn girl. Because I feel like, especially with Kent, like, we're always seeing, like, scenes with Kent and Monica. I feel like Monica's the type of player where she definitely had, like, these just individual relationships with people. So clearly he felt comfortable asking this. But it's like, girl, this definitely went right back to Krista. The guy against Hardy. I think Krista probably heard from both Monica and Hardy Kent's plans. Which is why she is immediately pissed off from the beginning of this week, because she knew.
Kent also mentions Hardy right here to Monica. Pretty sure Monica went and told Hardy that as well. And we'll see later, Kent versus Hardy starts happening, and it's like, Hardy's probably hearing all this shit about you, sir. Everything you're saying. He's
messy. Nigga became HOH and started talking to anybody about everybody.
And saying everyone's name. Why are you even thinking of nominating Hardy or just not Mike and Will? You're making it harder for yourself. You're making it very hard. And I will say the difference between this situation and I feel like Krista's is Krista didn't take out no Chill Town. If you're just gonna take out a Chill Town anyways, why you didn't just not Mike and Will and say a big Mike?
Like, and you know you want Mike out. Like, he said this from the beginning. Like, it's Mike that he wants. So it's like, what's the point of putting him next to Krista, him next to Hardy, him next to Bunky, which we're gonna get into. Like, the man was just all over the place. HOH itis down. Like,
So he, like you said, he starts going around talking about Bunky. Maybe he wants to do Bunky and Mike. So Kent starts asking Nicole about that.
And it's like, Bunky, your closest ally, the only person in this game that actually wants to work with you for real.
Like, it makes no sense. He's not thinking, and he's just thinking, oh, I just don't want to do the boring thing. He's just talking. So Bunky has an eye on him. He's like, it's starting to worry me because you win HOH, and now before HOH, it's Mike and Will, Mike and Will. You win HOH, now my name is in it. What's going on? Like,
and this is what I will say about Bunky, and like, I feel like it may or may not reflect in the score. I don't know, but it's just like, I don't like because I remember we were texting about him. You were like, you really like him, and I feel like this is my issue with Bunky. He was going to be okay with it.
Yeah,
he was just going to go up.
He was being too coy. And
I feel like that's how he is in the game in general. He's a very perceptive player, but he doesn't really do anything about it. He clocks. He tells the DR. He tells us.
Yeah,
and he doesn't do anything else. You got to do something, baby. You can't just be clocking people all day.
That's very true. I was happy that because when Kent talks to him about it, he says that's something I wouldn't prefer. And I'm happy that he at least said he wouldn't prefer it and didn't just say yes, I'll be nommed. But you're right, like he was real coy. I would have been like, girl, you're not doing that. Next.
Well, what you're not doing.
Yeah, that's the one thing you're not gonna do. It's not me. You can nominate anybody else. I don't even care if it's. I don't care.
I don't care if it's your daughter. You ain't nominating me.
Nobody. So, anyways, Mike and Will talk. Mike thinks it'll be either Will and Mike or Will and Krista. I don't know why he thinks he's that safe, but he's clearly not knowing what the fuck is going on. But he
every time Mike talks about something with the house dynamic, he's wrong. Every single time.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know anything. Like, I'm really interested to see him in Big Brother 7. Like, and I heard, like, the rumor was that Will basically wasn't doing All-Stars unless Mike came. It gives that. I will say, like, if I'm thinking All-Star from this season, I guess
he's on the list. I was going to ask you that, actually.
I would say All-Star options for me, Nicole, Krista, Monica, Chilltown. Even and that includes Shannon, Hardy, and that's probably for Body alone. I don't think Bunky at all, though. I don't know why Bunky was a potential option for All-Stars. No shade, but I don't really see that. But Mike is just like, every single read from Mike has been dumb as hell, and like, so I'm really interested to see how he improves as a player in All-Stars, because I know that's when it really gets nasty for the girls. But here,
what I will say about Mike, which I see here, and that's the thing, when I rewatched this the first time, didn't really see it. super low score. Nicole and Hardy were asked to do All Stars, but rejected it early on. I think they were second and third choices for CBS.
Now I didn't need that Hardy man, but Nicole, it really gave. Cause I heard she didn't even watch no more. It gave.
Yeah.
She said she didn't watch her season. Someone put that in the BB community. Like, she hadn't even watched her own. So it's giving. My sister lost, and she said, "Fuck Big Brother, fuck CBS, fuck it all, fuck reality TV."
I should show you. Damn, Nicole would have been nasty.
I wonder if she would have.
But that's the thing. What I hate about All Stars.
Hold on. Would she have worked with Mike and Will? Would it have been like a trio, Chill Town? Wait.
Maybe.
It could have been nasty.
It's just unfortunate because what I hate about All Stars is, first of all, they got less women than men. That was sucky. And then second of all, it seemed like all the women was popping. I was like, what's going on? Yeah. But also, I feel like they didn't get the heavy hitter women like that. Like, why was Lisa not on?
And like, she was a representative. How is the only woman winner who was eligible to get on, or I guess said yes, didn't even get in?
What the fuck? But Mike Boogie? And I know
it was Aria. Like, even if it was like, she should have been the last girl at least. Like,
yeah. Just add an extra girl. You had less girls than boys. Why is Erica there but not Lisa?
Why is Chicken George there but not Lisa?
Make it make fucking sense. Please.
Anyways.
Just piss. Nah, man. What I will say,
honestly, it should have just been every option because it was Bunky, Monica, Yvette.
Just put them all
on. Elisa, put them all on. They should all been on.
Put them all on. The fuck. Anyways, what I will say about Mike Boogie is he gonna come up with a plan because he initially comes up with the idea. He's like, I mean, we should just pitch basically the same thing that he keeps saying they should pitch is that it's smarter to keep them in because we're those girls and whoop. And so he's basically suggesting Will to pitch this to Kent. He's like, you should go talk to Kent. You should pitch that we're targets, you're a target, and that it's smarter to keep you whoop. And actually, Mike just sets himself up to go home. It's kind of what you were saying with his rating last time. Like, you working harder to keep your allies than yourself. And it's like, this really shows this week, like with this and with Krista, like you're making sure everybody else stays instead of yourself. What happened to you?
Yeah, that's nothing. He basically just quit this week. He shouldn't have got a call.
He didn't. Will got a call and said, can my homie come too?
My bestie SD. Mind you, he didn't even like that man no more. He had to sue him. How about he regretting that decision?
He helped that man get $1 million, $500,000.
And he blew it all and stalked him for years after. Like, girl, that could have been Will's second million. He had been trying to help him.
Second million, second 500,000.
Yeah.
His million. He could have $1 million. So, anyways, we get to the food competition. It's a thing. What is the thing called that's in the backyard? It's a mummy thing. Court? No, it's a mummy thing that's sitting in the backyard.
Oh, pyramid.
Anyway, so yeah, they say, okay, we have a pyramid and you got to figure out the 7 categories and y'all got to answer questions about 7 categories. And 7 of y'all answer the questions about the 7 categories. They got to do this shit. They get the food. Congratulations. Next, we get a segment about Krista being horny as hell. Love that for her. Monica and Nicole are also talking about how they just horny as fuck. Very interesting conversation. A part of me like wishes they had more like just kind of normal human conversations like this in newer seasons because like they're just laughing and talking, and I love that. It gives them personality. I feel like nowadays whenever they do goofy scenes, it's goofy shit. It's not real.
Scripted, girl.
Oh, a muffin! He took my muffin and my muffin. Where's my muffin? That doesn't tell me anything.
This whole orchestrated ass thing.
It doesn't tell me anything about how much did y'all pay to do this. Like, these people are genuinely talking about just being horny. Love that. Now I know more about it. Fucking period.
Which is also understandable, child.
Which I get. My favorite scene of the season is in this week. And I'm gonna tell y'all, well, so far. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be so excited. And it's about being horny, period. So after this, they get to make these mosaic shits. They're bored. They don't got nothing to do.
They be having to do anything.
So they're making mosaic. Anyways, who gives a fuck? Mike makes something for Krista. It's a heart in it, and he says Mike and Krista. So he's trying to flirt with her. And then later on that night, he dresses up like a vampire because she said that she likes vampires. If she would ever fuck a creature, she would fuck a vampire. So he dresses up like a vampire, sleeps in her bed. Congrats.
Well, not just any vampire, Dracula.
Specifically Dracula. Do you think Dracula is fine?
I think Edward Cullen is fine.
In the book, y'all, Edward, because when you watch the movie, let me tell you, when you watch the movie, or at least when I watch the movie, Team Jacob all the way. Like, you're not beating. What's that? Robert Pattinson is not eating up Taylor Lautner. Not at all. Not on none of them movies. But when you read that book, Edward eating the fuck up out of Jacob. Now, Edward is eating Jacob up
in the book. Best thing is not even in the book. That's in your mind. You're creating him in your mind.
Hey. Whatever it might be. But really, like, even in the movies, like, I feel like Edward's personality just isn't there. You're just a weird stalker.
It's so weird. It's very disassociative.
It's weird. But in the book, it's like, it just feels like he really loves her. And then you know Bella's thoughts in the book, so you know she doesn't really give a fuck about Jacob the whole time like that. So it's kind of like, you don't even want her with this boy she don't want. You want her with the ones you want. In the movie, it kind of is vague. It's like,
it gives in the movie that she liked them both.
And like, not really. Like, kind of, but not really. But anyways,
not really.
Krista likes Dracula. Krista likes Dracula, so that's good. After this, Will speaks to Ken, like the plan they had, except he's fired right back on Mike's ass low key, because Will is like, look, you know, I know I'm on the top of the hit list for everybody. You know, that sucks. I'm just everybody's number one. And Ken's like, well, you know, I mean, Will say, like, people were, you know, I don't know. And Will was like, look. And Will was like, look, from your perspective, I just feel like it'd be a lot easier to be in the finals with me versus being in the finals with someone like Monica or Bunky. You know what I'm saying?
Don't say my sister's name. He really got beat for Monica. I don't like that.
Keep that shit under wraps. And then this is what he added. Mike Boogie didn't tell him to say this part, but he said, and when it comes to competitions, I just feel like Mike Boogie is, you know, he's more of the competition person. And it's like, oh, you're throwing him under the bus too.
Mm-hmm.
You're throwing him under the bus.
And I wonder if that's why. I feel like, I was going to say, is that why he kind of going so hard for him? I feel like that's maybe not, because like maybe he feels a little guilty. Because like you was definitely throwing him under the bus. Like,
Yep. And it's like, what's interesting is like, it's kind of Mike. I'm not saying Will just wouldn't have done this, because Will has been known for talking to people, and like Nicole, he did it with Nicole already. But Mike like basically gave him the pitch. He used that pitch and then added on, Mike too is also a bigger threat than me. And it's like, damn, that's a gag. So Will is already becoming nasty with evil Dr. Will is what's happening. But girl, get this. The gag of the century. Krista sitting right there. I'm thinking,
heard it all.
I heard
the whole conversation.
Like she didn't hear it. She had a diary room. I overhear Kent and Will. I said,
no, because she over there just smoking, playing with her ear.
Like she don't hear nothing. The whole time she heard everything they said, girl.
And what's interesting is she brings this conversation right to Mike, and I feel like it just goes to what I was saying earlier, like. People in this season are just so open and honest. Like, everyone is telling everyone everything. Like, I don't get that. Like, is no one holding anything to their chest?
At all. It's so early. I think, like, in these earlier seasons, that's why the secret alliance is such a big statement. Because these early seasons, it's just nothing secret. We just telling each other. Duh. And it's like, no, shut up. But she tells Mike that, basically, she tells him about the pitch that Will did. The first part, before he mentioned Mike's name. And Mike is like, don't you think he was just saying that just so he could try to, like, you know, save his ass? Don't you think he's lying to Kent? And she's like, well, no, because he said your name too. And Mike was like, oh.
Huh? ¿Qué quieres?
And he was like, yes, he's saying you and Bunky should be nommed. And Mike was like, oh, that's good, because Bunky will go home. And Crystal was like, Bunky will not go home, bro.
Another example of Mike not knowing what the fuck is going on. Why would Bunky go home over you? And that's the thing, I feel like in his mind, because Chilltown, since week one, has been throwing out Bunky's name as someone who could potentially be nominated to go up. And it's like, they also mentioned him as someone who's well-liked, so why the fuck would you think you even have a chance?
That don't even make fucking sense. It's just dumb.
1 + 1 don't equal 2.
So we see that
maybe he's thinking, oh, I definitely have Will and Krista. But girl, do you have Krista?
He thinks he got Nicole too, because you need 3 votes. I think he thinks he has Will, Krista, and Nicole, and you don't have 2 of the 3.
Not like that.
Embarrassing. But anyways, Krista starts letting him know more about the dynamics of the house, and he kind of has a diary room. He's like, ooh, Krista got her finger on the pulse. And it's like, of course, she's not.
Well, she's mother.
That too. The fuck? So Krista tells him that Kent said if he had his druthers, Mike would be the one to go. So then I Googled druthers, y'all. Druthers means preference. So that means Kent prefers Mike to go. Very
learn a new word every day.
Druthers. I was like, what the fuck are they saying? I had to turn the captions on. But yes, boom. So that's cute. We get another scene of Kent and Bunky being besties. Love that to them. Love gay love. You know, me personally.
Girl, they just throwing that fag word around. Oh my God. They keep saying it. Like, we get it. I feel like that's the thing too. Like, I don't know if it's production or if it really is their friendship, but their friendship just gives, oh, you're gay and I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm friends with the gay guy.
He was like, Bunky,
and I'm friends with the old man.
I got fruit. And Bunky was like, you got that fruit? He was like,
I feel like that dialogue is funny though, so I'll give it that. But it's like, girl, we're tired. We get it. The homo and
one thing they're gonna do is push the showmans, including this one.
Right. Girl, this is the original Zanky. This is kinky. Clunky.
The original Zanky is crazy. So Ken talks about in the diary room how it's gonna be boring and all, Mike and Will. We get it. So then he talks to Bunky and he's like, look, you know, I know this is going to be a team effort. I want everybody to be in agreement on this. And I feel like Mike definitely needs to go because Will isn't a threat and Mike is. And Ken has a diary room. And he says he feels like because Mike has this idea that Kent owes him one for not nominating him, he's kind of getting tired of that. So, Lee, what the fuck is this? Because apparently Mike feels like Kent owes him for not nominating him that first week, and that Kent just should nominate him because of that. And no one else thinks this. He's the only one.
Well, I don't know why Mike thinks it, but
Will thinks it. But hey, I guess maybe this is just the first season issue. Well, no, it happens in the first season.
But it's not like I guess because it's like, I guess he's singing. He kind of hints at that, like, well, Kent, you were an option, and I didn't put you up. And it's like, well,
you should have told him that. Like, I don't know, you should have made a deal. It's different if you make a deal with him and say.
But he's literally the first ever HOH child.
Yeah. And Ken keeps saying, like, I didn't tell you not to nominate me.
Wait. So, and another gag, too, though. This is really on Mike because Kent approached Mike with a whole alliance week one.
He did, and you said no.
So.
Bye!
I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah, don't know what you want from me. He should have said that, but he couldn't expose himself with all them alliances. But anyways, this is where Kent basically offers if Bunky wants to be a nom. Bunky kind of says, well, no, I wouldn't prefer it. But Kent basically is like, okay, so you want to do it? And then he goes and tells Hardy. And he's like, look, Hardy, I'm thinking we should nom Bunky next to Mike. And then we'll vote out Mike.
And then they're laughing. The joke is the fags sending him out. That is just gonna be so terrible for Mike that the gay man is the one who stayed over him. Good God!
Like, what year are we in?
2001.
2001. That wasn't that long.
Oh God! It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And that's on prime time, the main show, bitch. Whatever.
Girl, the mothers talk. Krista and Nicole. Mm-hmm. And Nicole is like, I just feel like everyone thinks it's going to be easy to get Will out, so that's why he's not being a target. And Krista's like, you better watch that Will, man. She says, don't underestimate Will. Now, this is what confirms to me that Krista is a level above the average player. She's not an average bitch. She's that girl. Because the way that she's clocking Will after hearing one convo, and she knows that he needs to be watched, and people in a season that was playing a whole season with him didn't even clock it. That's how you know she's a better player than them hoes. He played a whole all-star season, and they left him in that game all season. And Krista clocked after one combo.
And I feel like that's definitely why we end up with the finals that we have. Because, like, you know, like, Will has been working on this relationship with Nicole. And I feel like Nicole's at a level where she's like, I mean, I got him sunned. Like, it's nothing. And it's like, girl. Yeah. No one can son Will like that, girl. Like, this is the male version of you. This is the male version of you, girl. Okay? You need to be on, your eyes need to be on 360.
She should, honestly, I feel like this combo with Krista went in one ear out the other. It should have stayed because that would have told her at the end of that game, that nigga needs to go.
Well, because see, that's the gag. The gag is Nicole worried about Krista.
That's true. And in the moment, it's hard because in the moment, I see why you worried about Krista.
Me too.
I see why you worried about
But
Krista.
she's been falling out of favor a lot recently, so I don't think I would have
That's
kept
true.
up that.
Yeah, honestly, after Kent nommed Krista, you might even need to be more worried about Monica. Well, I'm glad you're not. Well, no,
Right.
hold on. I'm speaking too soon because later, let's get there. Let's get there.
Oh God.
So, Will has a diary room, and he says that Kent told him that he's definitely nominated somebody from Chilltown. Um, and then we see the conversation. So Kent and Will have a conversation, and Kent tells him that the whole house wanted Will out, and that it's leaving me to have to go against the grain to do what I'm finna do if I want to keep you from not being nominated. So Kent's basically accepting this deal that Will tried to make earlier. And Kent's like, so between me and you, when I was talking to them, they said they wouldn't mind if it was Mike over you. And there's a person in this house that I'm even more mad at than I am at Chilltown. And they'll definitely see that in the nomination ceremony. Period.
It's like, chat, okay. And like we're definitely starting to see the building blocks. I mean, we'll see throughout this week. Like this alliance is about to crumble. And Will is sitting smack dab in the middle. No one's looking at him anymore. He's not worrying anymore.
Yeah. He ate that up real bad.
King.
So Will's idea is if he makes this deal with Kent, he doesn't get nommed, then him, Nicole, and Krista can vote out the other person.
They really should have discussed that second nominee.
Yeah. I'm guessing he's thinking it's Bunky, but or something.
Or Hardy.
Or Hardy, but it's like no. It's one of the people
Chris.
you thought was voting with you. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Then Ken starts asking Will about the whole Mike thing, and Mike thinking he owes him. He doesn't understand it. Will's like, okay, girl, I don't know why he thinks that with the woo. But Will ends up making a deal with him that he won't nominate Kent next week if he's HOH ever again. He won't nominate him. And Will has a diary room, and he says, I'm probably the biggest liar in this house. Maybe even the biggest liar in California. Maybe even the biggest liar in the United States. Because I'm nominating Kent so fast. You're hilarious. That man face didn't give a fuck.
And it's like, is that so hard? Why do people act like I hate the people like a Hardy that act like you just can't do it. You can't play that way. Mm-hmm. Like, no, this is how you need to play. It's a game.
Child. And this is the issue with Kent.
Lots of these people face.
With Kent deciding these nominees, like, I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about it. So we get to the nomination ceremony. The first key is Will.
Gagged alive.
That was gag.
Kent is so
dramatic.
He really is.
It's all for the show. That's what it is. So we end up seeing that the nominees are Mike and Krista. Child. Mike says, Kent says, Mike, I've nommed you because at the beginning of the game, Chilltown was this hateful, and they represented hate and disrespect and mean-spiritedness, and you associated with yourself with that side of the house, so that's why I nominated you. And he said, Krista, I feel like you've been playing the game for Krista, by Krista. You've entered with confidences with people, and then you've betrayed those confidences, and I just don't like the way you played the game. So he called them out. They do this at every nomination ceremony.
They do, and I will say these early. That's what I love about these earlier seasons. Like, bring this back. The HOA putting it on the floor, and the nominees putting it on the floor again. Because the way bitches getting called out left and right, I love this. I love this so much, and that's Bailey would have thrived. Okay, because now you're not going to nominate me and not get going off on, baby. That's not going to happen. But it's honestly just dumb. That's why people stop doing it because.
Yeah, because why are you beefing with them?
For Kent, why the fuck did you nominate Krista? No intention of her going home, but dragging her name through the mud with no one agreeing.
Yep. I was going to ask you how you feeling about the nom. Do you think he did the right thing?
No, it was dumb. It was dumb. It was dumb because you give Will the second life. I mean, he goes on to win, and he's able to make these alliances, make new allegiances that Kent is not involved in. And then Krista, you just made an enemy out of her. Like, Krista was not targeting Bunky. I mean, she was not targeting Kent necessarily. Mm-hmm. You drew the line in the sand. You the one who drew the first punch, and you don't expect her to leave. So why would she not come after you moving forward?
Yeah.
It's just dumb. It's just dumb. He should have put up Mike and Will, re-solidify his allegiances with the other people, and move
You still
forward
can
from
make a
there.
deal with Will. If Will's staying,
You
you can
still
still
could
make
make
your
a deal
deal.
with Will.
You can still make your deal with Will. If I make sure you stay, Will's still gonna have a fake ass deal because it's not real anyways. Will is still nominated, y'all.
Oh, that's not.
Y'all, Josh 23 says, I rewatched season 6 recently and I was 100% in support of the friendship.
Well, Josh, when we get to BB Rewind season 6, we'll have to discuss.
I've seen season 6 more than I've seen any other season. And let me just say, I have never been in support of the friendship. Now, I will say, April, I stand April a little bit. But the friendship as a whole, it's never going to get that.
Their energy was just so nasty.
They just have just dank ass energy. Like their aura is like doo-doo dark. Yeah.
Some would say murderous.
Mike pops off because you're not gonna nominate me and I'm gonna keep it cute.
Girl, I didn't think Mike was gonna get bucked like this now.
This is my thing. So Mike says, I just want to know when you go home and your daughter, I hate when people
bring up my daughter.
Stop bringing up people's children. Why do people think that's cute? Lee? Why do people think that's cute?
And that's why I find hilarious. This season has everything. This season has showmasters. It got people calling out people. It got people bringing up kids and family. It's a proposal. This season,
we got evacuations. What's it called?
People getting expelled, blindsides. The house is shifting. Like I just feel like this season has everything. Like
this is the origin.
There isn't one thing in Big Brother history that does not happen in this season first. Floating.
Period. Literally.
Flipping the game. Like going from the bottom to the top.
Fuck it.
On Kent Darden's birthday, period.
On Kent Darden's birthday. So Mike says, how would your daughter feel if you go home and she says, Daddy, why did you nominate Mr. Mike Boogie after he didn't nominate you on the first week?
And I would say, now, Bunky, why would my daughter say a damn thing like that?
She asked me that. Be for real. What about you? That's my fault. That was crazy. But Kim was like, I never asked you not to nominate me, so I don't know why I owe you loyalty that all these other people don't owe you. Does everybody else owe you loyalty? And Mike was like, because you won the car. And you told me that all the girls was trying to work together to get you out and you needed help.
Exposed.
Child. Ken said Ken said it's a game. I had no way of knowing that everybody was after me. Woo. And Mike was like, don't contradict yourself about that. Woo. And Mike ends it off and he's basically like, I just don't want y'all to keep saying that Chilltown does this and Chilltown does that when all of y'all are doing the same thing. Are y'all not working together? Are y'all not trying to just gang up against us? Is that not what's happening? Period. Kent, you know what? What I will say is that you can do what you want, but you're not going to win this game. I don't see you winning this game.
And here go Kent. I mean, that's cool. I don't care about when I leave. I care about how I leave.
And to me, he didn't eat that up at all.
No, I mean, he didn't eat that at all. I don't think he ate that, but the delivery, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Okay, because Mike just got done saying this long ass shit, and then he ended with the I don't care, and walked out.
And walked away.
Because at the end of the day, guess what? You're still nominated. And then also, what was Will doing during this argument?
Look around, everybody on mute.
Same thing he was doing with Shannon. Quiet as hell. So you can go ahead and go off. Girl. And I'm going to sit here real cute, calm, and collected. I don't know.
Not on the block with my key around my neck.
Literally.
What, bitch? The fuck? Child. So, after this, of course, Mike is a little heated. He's mad. And Mike is telling Hardy, he's like, I mean, we just don't have to pretend that we like each other. I don't have to pretend to be nice to him. He don't got to pretend to be nice to me. And I don't know why y'all all trying to act like y'all aren't a group. Y'all are clearly a group. And Hardy was like, I never said we wasn't a group. I never said he wasn't a group.
Hardy got all. Like, Hardy always got to. It ain't me. It ain't me. I didn't do. Like, he's always getting offended at something. Sit down somewhere, Hardy. It's like he always ready to punch somebody in the face.
Cause hit dogs gonna holler.
Hit dogs gonna motherfucking holler.
Mike didn't say Hardy name once, but Hardy at the table arguing. Girl, bye.
Hit dog.
Mike was like, you've been unfair with me. Kent is the one who wasn't unfair. My problem was with Kent. Is what he was
like, okay. Man, girl, exactly. Ain't nobody scared of you.
The fuck? Nobody's scared, but so, let me stop. So, after this, Kent is in the house, Krista outside, and Krista's basically consoling Mike. Mike is angry. He's walking around angry, doing angry push-ups. What is this called?
Bench press.
Angry
he running around the basketball court.
All of that.
Randomly, side note, why is there no basketball court?
No more? What happened to that?
Like
maybe they got tired of like moving it out of the way so they can build the competitions. So they was like,
I mean, really, all you gotta do is
move it out the way. Yeah. They lazy. You see the comps. Girl. Kent talking shit about Krista. Clearly he got big view because he's like, Krista out there trying to make some deals. I mean,
all she did was hug him. They both nominated.
Like, what the fuck? Let them be sad. Damn. Anyways, Krista has a diary room later on, and she's like, the gag is nobody agrees with Kent's speech. So I don't know why he gave the speech in the first place. The fuck?
Krista did not like what he said.
At all. She's dead stuck on what he said this whole week. And it's like, girl, you need to be trying to get them vote. I don't know what you're talking about. But she goes to Nicole. She's like, Nicole, have I ever betrayed your trust? And Nicole was like, that don't got nothing to do with me. When Kent was speaking for himself.
Whole time. And this is then you gotta watch this. Because these are two mothers. And I feel like this is really like a one-sided beef at this time. Yeah. It becomes two-sided. If you know, you know. But Nicole in the DR, she says that Krista is totally going to every single person and telling them what they want to hear about anybody. So I feel like at this point, Nicole starts looking at Krista heavy. I think that she's not worried about anyone else in this game. Who else would she be worried about? Nobody to be worried about. It's a bunch of flies. I think she's clocked. And it makes sense because I think arguably, until this week, Krista and Nicole were the two best players in the season. And they definitely had the most win equity. And I think Nicole clocked who her biggest competition is at this moment. And Krista, because of everything else going on, she's not aware of it. And I just like that's really bad because I don't think Krista was going to worry about Nicole for a minute. I don't think she's in her sights at all. And it's like, ooh, that's bad because Nicole is from the sidelines clocking T. That's the issue with, I think there's like two things that really, really make this bubble over. One, the game Krista is playing, which is being in the middle, it's just so much harder. You're going to get clocked a little bit. So that's making Krista distracted because she got to keep up with all that and she's getting clocked. Second thing, Krista won an early HOH and she had to nom Kent. You made an enemy, Kent spied right back on the ass. Now you kind of have to focus on Kent and Bunky. She's distracted. And it's like, if Nicole per se won an early HOH versus Krista, would it be easier to clock Nicole because Krista hasn't had to show her card? Krista had to show her cards for winning that HOH. If her cards was empty and there were no cards on the table, it would probably take a little bit longer for people to catch on to what she's doing. That's Whereas right. Here, your cards are just in my face, bitch. You put it in my face. Put it on the floor. So now I know you don't doing the activeness to kind of everyone in this season is so open, you know. And I feel like to play that kind of floater type strategy, you have to be a little reserved and hold your cards close to your chest because you don't need people knowing what you're gonna do next. But this is the first season, so I'm thinking of like, okay, eventually when I have to rate Krista, I'm trying to factor in all of this. She's still playing at a higher level than people today. Literally. So I'm thinking like, sure, she's fucking up a little bit, but it's like, baby, this is the first ever season. So you're one of our first mothers ever. So it's like, I'm really trying to think of where I would place Krista as a player because she's clearly that girl. She has will clock and she doesn't even make it to the end game, and she has will clock. It's just she's that girl. She's that girl. She does. But Nicole knows it too.
Period. But Krista says it's on with Ken. If I stay, it's on. She says
It's
that multiple
on.
times.
It's on. It's on. It's on. Show me.
I don't even remember this scene. Yes, I do. I have written down. Hardy walks up to Monica and Krista whining like a little baby. So I'm pretty sure that's what he was doing. And he's mad that Mike is upset. He says, I hate this part. This part just sucks because why do we have to just act like this? And why do we have to do this? And So he goes inside and he goes to Nicole. He says, you know what? I just can't do this anymore, Nicole. I'm just done with all of the shenanigans and hoopla. It's just a lot of hoopla. Not even saying shit. The fuck are you talking about?
We really don't even know where this started. Like I said, I think maybe he started like regretting some of his past actions in the house, so he just started spiraling. Because this is random. Conscience. Definitely a guilty conscience. That's what it's given, because this is just random. Like, he's going to literally every last one of his allies and it's like, I'm alone. I'm canceling all of my alliances. What?
Look, I don't have no beef with you, but anything we had is just not something I want to be a part of.
I just want to be. And then Bunky was like, oh, we get to be friends. Right. That's all I want to be is friends.
That's all I want to be. That's all I want to be. I don't even want to. Bunky ate that. I don't even want to be a part of nothing. All of these groups and stuff, I just don't want it. I just feel like, actually, matter of fact, anything that has to do with the reason that we're here, I don't want to talk about it. What the fuck does that mean? This nigga said, anything that has to do with the reason we're here, noms, HOH, competition, I don't want to talk about it. Huh?
You should have been on season 1, baby.
Bow out.
Leave.
Bye.
You let Shannon go home.
God, Hardy didn't win the show. I mean, didn't win this game, because if he did, I would be pissed because he didn't want to be here. Well, neither did we. Sometimes.
I mean, but Will wasn't canceling alliances,
but he wasn't canceling alliances to do all this extra shit. Like, please. Like, I can't. So Kent calls Bunky to the room. That's his bestie. And he's like, bro, what the fuck is going on with Hardy?
he's like, what's up Hardy's ass?
What's up Hardy's ass? Literally, no.
Kent hilarious a little bit.
Bunky's like, I don't know. They're actually a cute ass duo.
They really are. They really are.
On live feeds or just something similar to this on live feeds in a future season, like, I want to see an unlikely duo. We haven't got one of those in a minute. Those are hot. I love those.
Yeah.
Period. Like,
I was gonna say Corey in America, but
they remind me of Jessica and Eric Stein from BK.
Yeah.
Like,
you're that coded.
Yeah,
very that coded.
They are down to the placements, bitch. But boom. So Bunky's like, girl, I don't know what's tea. Like, Hardy just doing a lot. He's really doing a lot. And Bunky, this is why I like Bunky, because he has a diary room and he says, I think Hardy is really just playing the game, and he's trying to like pretend to be as honest as possible, but really he playing the game. And it's like, Bunky has everybody clocked.
Because I just like, at the end of the day, you wouldn't still be there if you were not there to try and win. You still want to win. You just having a day. I guess, like he said later, he's PMSing. I guess that's what that was.
That was one of his PMSs.
You little bitch. I'm sorry. Fine to look at, but goddamn.
Shut up.
Literally. Just shut up and be fine. That's what you're here for. That's what you were casted for.
Yep.
Literally.
We get like a cute little music section. Buggy's teaching niggas how to break dance. He should have been teaching people how to rap. Was he teaching people how to rap? Should have been. Well, actually, he can't teach nobody because he can't rap himself.
He barely break dance. I'm so sick of Buggy. I'm so happy he out. I'm so happy he out.
But don't worry about Krista. She looks real good. We standing up tall and we got it all. But it don't matter because I'll never fall.
Okay.
That's how he raps. No, it's not good.
Was that off the dome?
But it's off the dome, though.
That was off the dome. That was off the dome.
We get to like this.
Okay, Pharaoh Boogie.
Don't. Maybe Dr. Pharaoh. Okay, so we get to the luxury comp. They first have this cute little segment where they got to guess whose CD is whose favorite CD this is. So they're pulling it out the bag and they're reading the CD and then they're guessing which one it is. The only one I recognized was Michael Jackson, Off the Wall. Everybody else had some bands. You know they white, y'all. So I knew Michael Jackson, but I didn't know the other people. And that was Monica's. Shout out to her. And they go outside. They have this ghetto ass competition that you could have in your backyard. That was so like, girl, I could have made that. They have a bowl. It's not even a competition. It's a bowl in the
It
pool.
even backyard little thing. It was like the level that they've took these competitions now is so hilarious. But I will say though, I always say like I don't watch people for the competitions. Watching these older seasons, it means that so much more. Like I don't need the upscale comps with all of these colors and all of these mechanics and all of these big lights and shows. I don't need all of these hard ass weird questions. Put them in the backyard. You don't even need to change the backyard. I don't care. Like I don't mind. Like the HOH going into week 5. Like every HOH so far has basically been in the backyard questions about the house guests. Every single one. I love that. That's all I need. That's literally all I need.
And it's called such diverse HOHs.
Literally. It's just they had such a good product. I don't get it.
They don't trust their cast. It's down to that. They trusted the cast. The cast is gonna deliver, and it did. But now they're relying on some bullshit
to the point where, like, remember the few times where like they had a twist and the cast eating so much they was like, oh, we gotta cancel this, or we gotta edit this a little bit because it's like sometimes the cast is not needed.
Yeah, they did it with BB17. They was gonna have double HOH for a while, but it started eating so bad they was like, never mind. Hold on, Holiday. That's like period.
Or who had one random? It was supposed to be a twist every week, and they're like, we're not doing it no more.
Was BB18? It was.
I think it was also BB17.
It was BB17. Yeah, it was. It was.
They would have a twist every single week, and like one of those, the first one was the Amazing Race twist, and they had, I forget, it was something else after. Oh, the one that Davon got, and then after that, they
Laugh Out Loud. Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah, who's ready for a takeover?
Stop all that. So they throw the CDs in there. Monica wins. She gets to listen to her music. Love that for her because that was the only.
That is Michael Jackson, King.
Right.
And the Big Brother house. Period.
Will is Mr. Shannon, and we also see people talk about how Will has been acting, calmer, real nice,
cooking, cleaning, taking out the trash, girl. And it's really just that the OG. Literally, there is not one thing I feel like that someone can do or say in New Era doesn't lead back to this season. Because how many people say they're gonna go in their house and cook and clean and do all this type of shit? And that's what Nicole do. That's the thing. Nicole is Molly the maid, and she complained about being Molly the maid. But I also think that's a strategy. Yeah. Why would you got the person that literally cooks and cleans every day for us?
I'm not doing. You saw what happened just last season.
Melissa made all the way to Power 4.
They was dragging them. They said we will not eat without them, which is so crazy. But they were dead ass saying.
But
they were literally saying
it's a strategy.
We want to leave her in longer so we can eat. Yeah, y'all are terrible people, by the way. But hey, we move like God.
But I feel like I would definitely have to be in that environment to see if I really feel that way. Because I will say it is very convenient. Oh,
it is very convenient.
I just wake up and it's clean, it's cooked. Oh, maybe you don't need to go.
We gonna get into it when we get to Molly the Maid scene. All right, so we get America's Choice, and they ask. We asked America. We polled 100 people. Which house guest would you like to see receive a 3-minute phone call from the home? Who would you vote for, Lee?
Monica.
Me too, because she's black.
And that's my own one.
We pause it here and we're going to come back to it later. After this, we see, this is my favorite scene. This is my favorite fucking scene. It's Nicole and Bunky, and they're in the kitchen. And they're basically, because both of them are married, and they're basically talking about some because Hardy walks past. They're like, how something just in the room and you just can't touch, you just can't touch it, but it's just there all the time with you. And Bunky was like, no, Nicole, listen, this is what it's like. Imagine you're on a deserted island, nothing's there, nothing to eat. And what's a vegetable you just don't really care for? Zucchini. So zucchini's on the island, you can't eat it. You can't eat it, you can't touch zucchini. You don't really care about zucchini that much at all like that anyways, but it's just around. The first day, you good. You don't want the zucchini. Some days pass, you're like, maybe. And then weeks pass, and it's like, you really want the zucchini. Mind you, the zucchini touches you sometimes. Sometimes you touch the zucchini. At that point, you just really, really want some zucchini. Now, zucchini is hearty. And what I love about this is nobody but a gay man could give this analogy. I love hearing gay men talk about, I love Marcellus talking about how fine Kaser is and how his musk and how his steak is still good. Nobody but a gay person can relate to what he's talking about. Like, no girl has ever said that in Big Brother House. Neither of these things. Like, I've never heard a girl describe a man in this way. And it's because he's gay. Like, I love the gay shit because I need a gay person who's single or something who can give me that type of feeling again. Because I miss like seeing like myself on that screen. Like, that's exactly what I would say about Hardy. If I ever would say something about Hardy, this is what I would say. Like, this man, like, ooh, I just want to touch him. But love love the gays. And I'm gonna love Marcellus. When Marcellus starts talking about boys, it's so he hears me.
He gets you.
He gets me so good. Like, oh my God. Like he said, Kaser has this musk. And it's like you would think it stinks, but it doesn't. It like smells. We're gonna get there. So Nicole is shaving Will's body hair. Yuck.
Social
I
queen.
never do that. Is that a queen? Oh, a social queen.
I feel like every time we see Nicole, she's doing some specific activity with somebody. It's like,
so. Why was you working out with Sam? She's playing she knows what the fuck she's doing.
Yes.
She knows what the fuck she's doing. And she tries to act coy. That's what Nicole, she tries to act, I just like working out. You ain't worked out since Shannon left. So Will has a diary. He says this is going to be a perfect time to talk to the queen of the house because can't nobody hear us. We have to decide. She's saving my body. So Will says, is there any way we could save Mike this week? And Nicole was like, by getting Krista out. Nicole is so like abrasive. She would piss me off low-key, but it's like she's the queen of the house.
That was a hilarious response.
Like, what are you talking about?
And it was very much like, duh.
Basically. And it's like, don't duh me.
And this whole time, she was really just like Nicole feeling herself because he was like, yeah, but how are we go about doing it? I'd pull someone in. Yeah, but who? Anybody. I can pull anyone in.
We had a combo with. But Will's basically asking her, okay, are you interested in this? Are you interested in potentially saving Mike? And Nicole was like, I just don't feel like Mike said this. I feel like you're saying this and you want me to do that.
And that's exactly what's happening.
And that's exactly what's happening. And she's like, so, I mean, Mike would have to talk to me about it. And if he comes to me, then I'd entertain it.
And then you just obviously see the difference because, like, Will has been cultivating this relationship with this woman who hated him, was literally volunteering to go up next to him in week 2 to send him home. Cultivated a relationship with him to where she is literally talking strategy with him about trying to keep his closest ally. And the person who was not the most hated out of the 3, like, Mike was so liked compared to them 2. And she's like, well, he ain't talking to me. And it's like, why isn't you talking to her? Why haven't you been had a relationship with her? Will has been making this relationship and you haven't? What has Mike been doing these last few weeks? Just being hated?
Just being hated. Girl. So Nicole has a diary room. She says, honestly, Krista is a bigger threat than either of them. So I'm genuinely thinking about this and I don't know.
She got my sister clocked down, y'all.
Real bad.
Oh,
it's
my
so
God.
Bad. Mind you, Krista ain't had one diary room yet. I'm thinking, girl, Nicole is right there. Hello. Like, I need you to wake up.
I could definitely see, like, from Krista's perspective, like, why would Nicole be a threat for her right now?
Yeah. Meanwhile, that's the main person with your name in her mouth. More than Kent. Right now. Like, fuck. So we get the America's Choice results. Hardy gets it. He talks to his grandma. Congratulations. Next, we get a segment about how the house is haunted, bitch. And is it haunted or are they just a little? It would just take them some time.
Well, the things that they're saying is like they're hearing things and stuff like that, and it's like people literally walk through the walls of the Big Brother house. Those are the producers,
babe.
So it's like the voices that you're hearing is them talking about y'all.
Y'all are in the factory, remember? Y'all aren't in.
Y'all on the set. This is not a real house.
The camera's moving. Probably what you hear. And then they outside. Who is it?
Kent and Monica.
Kent and Monica.
I like Kent and Monica always having some funny ass scene together.
It's a crow. And here go Monica. She said, did you see that crow here yesterday? Kent said no. He was like, it was. But it wasn't here the day before. Kent said, what?
They really clocking teeth. He was like, so it seems like the crow only comes on days when there's a lot of turmoil.
And it's like, y'all are bored. Y'all got nothing to talk about. Kent was like, did you see that cross? Or what's it called? What do you say? Rosary? Whatever. The cross
it was
in the
cross.
yard.
It was burning in the yard. It was saying.
Burning in the yard. And she said, He said, let me show you. She went over there. She said, oh, no. I gotta go, y'all. Mind you, it don't even look like a T, barely a T. It looks like one of the it wasn't even that was not a cross, y'all. If you haven't seen it, it's not a cross. It was the shadow of the hang line. What's it called?
It was giving cross.
No. But they're bored. So after this, Big Brother provides them with a Ouija board. They get the Ouija board. They start using it.
Would you be participating?
Not in 2024, but I think in 2001. Because there's more propaganda about all that shit. More movies. There would have been no movies, no Poltergeist.
The Blair Witch Project came out in like 1999.
That's T.
They had like,
but they weren't doing that's T though. But that was like a witch, kind of. I think after Paranormal Activity is when I started getting real scared. At this point, I think I would have been too detached from the idea. So I think I would have did it like a dumbass. But they're all doing it. Will has an idea. He says he wants to include himself in everything, but just not be at the head of everything. But he wants to make sure he's included in it. Mm-hmm. So the spirit board they're using spells out Jim. Allegedly, because what you mean? It's not moving, is it? But anyways, it spells out Jim.
I was saying they wasn't moving the child.
So Will says, y'all being dead ass right now.
This story is so hilarious. Honestly.
He says, actually, guys, being so serious right now. I have a cousin and he died out in Tokyo on an oil rig. And the oil rig collapsed and he ended up dying. And they were like, and his name was Jim. He's like, his name was James, but go short for Jim. So he had a diary room. He said, I'm just playing along, telling them what they want to hear. I mean, I do have a cousin named James, but he didn't die in an oil rig. Say it. What are you doing? He just made it up. But that's me. I just be lying. He just like right? I'm trying to Libra a little bit because I just be lying just like that. But anyways, after this, the board, they're doing a Ouija board and it spells out Margie, which is Krista's mom's name. Now, this is when I was like, Lee, what's T? Because they said no one knew her name. No one knew her name.
And if no one knew her name, who the fuck was moving the thing?
That means they wasn't moving it on purpose. So that means the shit is real, Lee.
And I don't fuck with that shit.
You don't fuck with horses?
I don't even want to talk about it for too long.
All right, next.
I'm terrified.
Child. So after this, Nicole goes to speak with Will in the bathroom. And Will is like, is it far-fetched? Nicole is so crazy with her responses. He's like, is it far-fetched to maybe pitch an alliance with you, me, and Mike? And she's like, no. And he was like, okay. He was like, okay. Like, I mean, let's keep working on that. So they're going to keep working on it.
He keeps, and this is something that people do not do in Big Brother. They'll like forge a plan with someone or have this idea of an alliance or a group or something like that, and they will not keep checking up on it. You can't tell someone day one, let's start something, and then never talk to them again and expect them to have your back. And a lot of people do that. Or a lot of people will just have these ideas and plans and they'll try to initiate it and then never check with that person again. Like, you have to continue to check with people and to stay on them. I mean, that's how he got his relationship with Nicole in the first place. Like, he continuously spoke with her.
Exactly. So after this, he keeps going to work. He goes and tells Mike about the conversation he had. And he basically tells him, you need to go talk to her because she basically wants you to talk to her. And Mike basically feels like, I can't do that. I can't do this against Krista. Krista's the one. If it wasn't, this is different. It's not as if it's me and you and we're bowing out. It's Krista. And I just feel like I can't do this.
Mind you, he was just telling
Will out to Krista, week. I guess.
Shout out to Krista, but he was just telling Will last week, don't quit for Shannon. Like, I need you in this game, all this other shit. And now the roles are reversed and he can't do it for Krista. You're not even in a real showmance with Krista.
Exactly. Krista's not even on you like that. I don't know.
So Mike ain't it really gives Krista a social game queen. Okay, that's a mama right there.
Does. Mike ain't feeling it. We see the next day, they kind of talk about it a little bit again. And Will is basically like, you need to leave your emotions out of it. You need to just separate your emotions from the game. Just act like a robot and act like you don't care. And at the end of the day, what do you really want? And Mike, it seems a little bit more open to it at this point, but girl,
we still see that conversation with him and Nicole. The main thing that Nicole wants is him to pitch it to her, which we haven't seen.
Nope. So there you go. After this, we get the mandatory house meeting. We see scenes.
I love this. I want them to bring this back. I
feel like the mandatory house meeting.
Yeah, even though Vito is there, I feel like this is something separate from the veto meeting. Like, and also I feel like you could just cultivate this idea of, okay, in this house meeting, like a tribal council, everyone's kind of very open and honest to a point of like, girl, you could kind of get in trouble for that in the game. No, like I kind of want this idea of this is a place that we can get all of our issues out. Like there was some drama this week, so it can be like, well, I want to call this issue out, and everyone just talks about it. Like I would love if that was like a thing.
You know what? You're so right. It would fucking eat because I'm thinking about it. BB25, the week Izzy goes home, Monday house meeting.
Mandatory Monday house meeting where we all have to sit here and talk.
And either Corey is just gonna say it or Jared might be like something. And get this. Let's say Corey and Jared don't want to speak about it, neither of them bring it up. You know who will? Bowie Jane. Well, there was a conversation up in the it would get brought up and they would have to talk about it.
A lot of times it would be interesting. You eat that up. I'm thinking of like even like BB21, a lot of that turmoil in those early weeks. I mean, hell, BB15, a lot of those seasons where the real problematic shit is happening. If you have these mandatory house meetings and that's the thing, in those moments, you can force them to talk about it. Well, you will be discussing the racism this week.
Yep. Damn, that would eat, actually. Wow, they need to bring some shit back. Like,
I mean, the thing is, the formula is there.
The formula is there.
They got the platform. They just not executing it.
Child. So Nicole basically brings up that she feels like she's the maid of the house. She feels like I'm the only one who cleans, and when I try to clean, don't nobody else want to cook and clean. And they kind of cut her off, and they're like, "Oh, wait, whoa!" And Monica's like, "Wait, hold on." What happens is it seems like whenever we feel like we're ready to clean or we're going to go clean something, it's already done. You don't have any time in between the time that you're ready. Something's dirty and us cleaning it. There's no time for us to do it. And then Hardy kind of says, why is it your responsibility to clean? He feels like people, the rest of us just don't find it that dirty as fast as you. It takes you a day and then you're ready to clean something. And it takes
every 2 days.
And honestly, I feel Nicole so bad because when I was younger, I had a problem with cleanliness. I had to really, really clean everything. My body would literally itch. If stuff was dirty, I would be itching. It could be just a dust mite. I would have to clean it. And then I kind of grew out of it a little bit. And then when I got roommates, I was like, oh, but I had to just learn. I really had to just learn to just, sometimes shit gonna be dirty. But I feel her so bad.
They're saying like, oh, like, clearly they're basically saying like, it doesn't have to be cleaned every 2 days. Like some of us can probably stand it a little bit longer. Some people only clean it like once a week. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's multiple people using that same bathroom. I don't even think the HOH has their own bathroom. So it's like, even the HOH is using it. So it's like, it not really gets dirty as faster than it would in a normal household.
Mm-hmm. Y'all are definitely dirty. I would be cleaning that Big Brother house just as much as Nicole. So I fully get it.
But I kind of do like the sentiment of, well, girl, if you're going to do it, don't get mad.
You can't be complaining about it. Just do it. And shut up. Really. Either do it or just don't do it.
Or create a plan. Like, it needs to be a household thing. So if I'm cleaning it this night, the next person on the list, okay, let's evict it. We move on to the next person, like something like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. So they kind of argue about it a little bit, but at the end of the argument, they kind of just resolve that Nicole is definitely just more clean than them. She's more cleanly, and if she's gonna do that, she's gonna do that. And then she goes and cleans right after. So I guess she's letting off the stress. She mentions that. She mentions when I'm angry, that's something I just do to let off stress. I was like, okay, go clean then. Clearly you're angry. Okay.
And I was telling Mr. Pharaoh off the podcast, like, it's hilarious how like Nicole does have this very abrasive personality. She goes off on people all the time. She pisses people off, but they don't want to target her. And like I feel like that's so, I was gonna say Vanessa coded, but that's just Nicole coded, bitch. Like the fact that she's kind of able to have like these sort of relationships where people get like annoyed, but they still want to work with her is just really interesting to watch, because especially in these earlier seasons, it's about how you are as a person. Like if people don't like you, you're definitely gonna go home. That's what you can do about it. But Nicole has established herself so well in this game that she is not in that position. Mother, like,
I feel like I can't really compare it because I feel like the reason is people trust her because she's so real. And it's like, that's kind of rare. I'm trying to think of like another person who has that energy, but it's kind of rare. But it's like, I think that's why she has so much like she doesn't have a target on her back because people are just like, that's a real ass bitch. She's gonna tell me if I don't like her. If she don't fuck with me, she's gonna tell me, which isn't true. But she just seems so upfront that you kind of just assume she's a real ass bitch. So there's that. Monica's is mad because she feels like Nicole's doing a lot. So Monica's outside. She's like, Nicole is on a rampage. I guess she's mad about this, this, and this. And I just feel like if you're gonna clean, then you can't be bitching about it as well. And it's like, period. But we also see Nicole is mad at Monica. And Nicole says, if I win HOH, you know, fuck throwing Will out of here. I'm going for Monica. And it's like, baby, you could try.
Because I don't know how you're going to make that happen.
You could definitely try.
Put her up next to who? Girl, stick to Krista. If you're gonna take out her mother, let it be Krista.
The fuck? Because you're trying it. You're trying it real bad right
now. Not Miss Mona. Monya, what is it?
Manya. Period. Yeah. They started calling her that during the competition. They're like, yeah, Manya. It's like, period. I love a good nickname. So after this, Will we're at the diary room, and he's talking about it seems like the smokers still trying to take out the chill town. And I don't like that. It's like, what you talking about? Not the smokers.
No, that is hilarious. Calling them the smokers is so hilarious. I always love like the alliance names that the minority comes up with for the other people. It's so funny.
Speaking of alliance names, Chilltown is a cool ass alliance name. Like just thinking of it like damn. And I'm thinking
that in Sovereign 6.
I was gonna ask you if there's other ones. You like Sovereign 6?
I like Sovereign 6.
Okay.
I like Sovereign 6. If they weren't dumb, I honestly would have said Falte, but they were so bad. They were so fucking bad. And I think the name is just bad too because they were so bad. Like it fits. Like you got this lazy ass name.
It's very fitting.
To the end, and y'all flopped.
It's a very fitting name. I will say that. I don't know. I just want a really cool name. The Cookout is cool. The Cookout is really cool. The Cookout is probably the best.
I would have liked Brown Sugar Babies, but that wasn't real.
I would have liked that too if it was real. It was fake. A lot of alliances are fake, or like the ones that have cool names. I don't necessarily love the members. Like I think the Hitman is kind of a cool name.
Yeah, that's cute.
I'm just not gagged by the people. But love the Cookout.
Another example. I ain't gonna lie. Like I don't hate Grateful, but then when I think of who's associated with Grateful.
You think it's kind of cute? I don't know. I think Grateful could have been cute. It's just the people. It's what I think the people make up an alliance a little bit. It really does. Because at the end of the day, if I don't fuck with you, because honestly, if I'm taking my favoritism out and level 6 was the people I fucked with, I think I would like the name level 6 if it was the bitches I was fucking with.
Someone said Leftovers is fun. I did kind of like the Leftovers.
Leftovers is a creative name. I love the creativity.
I like when it's like something throughout. That's why I don't hate Falte because it's like 5 of us to the end. Grateful has the 8 and great. Like I like play on.
Here he go, y'all. Josh 23 talking about the friendship. I hate the name The Friendship. That's so lame.
It's like the good people or something like that. Like
that shit is lame.
We're friends. We're the friendship.
That's kind of what Grateful gives too. We're just grateful for each other.
Oh my god.
Anyway, child. This
you don't leave Josh favorite lines alone. Look, friendship defender, head Maggie defender.
Girl, I can't. I think I will be standing Maggie though, especially when we rating and shit. I'm gonna have to give Mother her 10s.
Especially when she ate up. Was it Howie? Child, 9.
Nothing.
It might be a 10, depending. We'll see when we get there.
We'll see when we get. Hardy. This is where we get the Hardy and Kent beef. It's starting to brew. So Hardy has diary room. He says ever since Kent won HOH, he think he the head of the house, and he's not because I am. Really, what it's giving is Hardy's mad that he's not the head honcho right now, and he feels like Kent is trying to take that over, and he don't like that because Kent is telling Hardy, he's like, he said, I feel like if you're gonna tell us that you're not a part of the alliance, then you really then you're not really a part of the alliance. That's not somebody I'm gonna protect. Talking about Krista, of course, and we know Hardy's fucking with Krista, so Hardy don't like that. And Hardy was like, I mean, I just don't know, and it's like,
what talking about Hardy?
Like what?
He's talking about Hardy.
When you said, when he was saying that Hardy is walking around saying that he doesn't want to be in the alliance, then if you're not a part of the alliance, then how are you going to be protected by the alliance? Mm-hmm. And Hardy was like, I don't like. He doesn't want to sit down and discuss the vote with everybody and woo. But my thing is, Hardy's been being like whiny all week. So I'm not surprised that Kent is approaching it this way because you kind of literally just said you didn't want to be part of the group. You literally just said you didn't want to talk about the vote. So Kent is basically calling him out on that. And Hardy's kind of getting mad at it.
I think Kent breaks it down pretty well, though, because he's like, I mean, at the end of the day, as an alliance, when we win, we have to look at people outside of that alliance. And if you're saying you don't want to be part of the group, then you're naturally going to be looked at. I don't know how that's not common sense for Hardy. And Hardy has an attitude of like, so if I don't talk and I don't sit down and talk and discuss my vote and discuss what I'm going to put up, and then I'm a target. Yeah, we don't know what you're thinking. Is that not common sense?
I feel like he just wasn't thinking when he did it. But that's the thing, Hardy's weird because I feel like if you're gonna say you're not a part of the alliance, why are you mad when someone else is just basically repeat? Basically,
he doesn't want to be in the alliance, but he doesn't want to be targeted. So he doesn't want to play the game, but he doesn't want to leave the game.
So what does he want to? Is what Bunky said. You just want to pretend that you're just above it.
Mm-hmm. Mind you, I don't even know why he's so up in arms. Like, it's Mike going home this week. Why? It's not like it's two people from your side, and it's like, oh, I can't decide. You're sending Mike home. Why would you not want to discuss the vote? You're sending Mike home. No, you're not sending Krista home, are you?
Well, Hardy feels like it's not his job to tell him how he's gonna vote.
Well, girl, it's not Kent's job to protect you if he let you H then, because you're not in the alliance.
Kent should just put him up. He wanted to.
He should have put him up. That would have got.
He wouldn't have.
Krista and Hardy. He would have gagged alive. Oh, he would have gagged alive. He would have gagged. He should have did Krista and Hardy.
But he didn't.
Well, honestly, because Krista would have went home this week.
Yeah,
because it would have been Bunky, Nicole, and Will.
Just
well, no, Will probably would have. Will and Mike would have said Krista. So no.
And Monica.
Oh, gagged alive. He should have did Krista and Hardy. Shit.
He could have got him out right here. So after this, Will checks in with Nicole again, y'all. This is a consistent man. So he checks in Nicole again about what they discussed about maybe potentially keeping Boogie, and Nicole's like, I'm trying to. Damn. Nicole basically getting annoyed with how much he's checking in, it seems.
Like, please stop questioning me. Like, I get it. I'm trying. I'm working my magic, baby.
She said, I'm trying to. I'm working on
it. Rome wasn't built overnight.
Period. Krista mentions again, if she stays, it's on.
It's on. And
that's right. And Mike mentions that if they keep him instead of Krista, that he's gonna take them out. Are you? Because you ain't won the Android. Well, I guess he kept
getting close. He won the first one.
He kept getting close, child. So after this, we see Mike is acting like Shannon, girl, because later on he's outside and Kent is minding his business, and Mike is like, "Are you staring at me?" And Kent is like, I'm not even looking at you.
Looking at you, Mike.
Girl.
Like, every time someone approaches Kent with something, he'd be like, what?
Like, what?
Kent be so confused.
So Mike is like, Mike starts arguing with him. He mentions his kids again. He says, when you go home to your kids and explain to them why you act the way you act and woo. And Ken is like, why do you keep mentioning my kids? Like, please keep my kids out of it. Can we please keep the kids out of it?
And honestly, that is so weird on Boogie's part. Like,
he's just bringing them up on purpose now.
And he's like, I'll keep your kids in it if I want to. I imagine that Paulie said that to Davon. Woo.
Girl, woo. Davon was already heated. She was going to fly out the house the way she was heated.
Well, you But yeah, that was weird. That's so weird. Honestly, Mike had a lot of weird things, but he's a weird person. We see what happens in the future.
Mm-hmm. Boom. After this, Will has a diary room. He talks about that. Basically, Mike seems like he's quitting. It seems like Mike has just accepted defeat. He's walking around acting kind of crazy. It seems like he doesn't even want to talk to Nicole about the deal, and Nicole can't make shit happen if Mike don't talk to her about the deal. So Will talks to Mike. And she says that if we get together with Nicole, that we can start running it, and we need to make this deal right the fuck now. And it seems like
Mike's procrastinating. He doesn't want to do it. And it's like, at the end of the day, like, basically, when he told Will in that original conversation, I don't want to do this to Krista, he meant that. He is not trying to do this to Krista. And it's just like, wow. Like, I'm just like, because like I said, I really haven't watched 7 like that to, like, understand Mike as a good game player. But I watched this. And I watched 14. And I am confused how he won the season. But
it's very like
you will see.
Like
it's definitely giving Will's impact for sure. And I've heard that the grapevine, but I'm just thinking he's a winner. There's no way it was all someone else. It's giving it was all Will.
I feel like with what I know from Mike is that he is it's weird because he's not strategic. He's
decent socially.
And he's decent socially, especially in Big Brother. Well, I mean, he won the first social HOH, so early on he was very, very social. And then in BB7, I know he is very good socially again. It's just, I think other than him having a strategic mind and him being okay socially, he's just not a good player. He's not savvy, really. And I feel like his lack of savviness is like something that Will really is able to help him with. And without Will in the house, Mike will never win. And we saw that happen on BB14 when he fucking lost. So after this, boom, Kent tells Bunky that they know that they can't trust Hardy, they can't trust Will. I mean, we can't trust Hardy, we can't trust Krista. And if we can vote out Krista, then low-key that's gonna mess up Hardy and his little group. That's not gonna happen. So I don't know why he even tried. Will starts to solidify his new little group. He's talking to Nicole and Hardy, and apparently him and Nicole and Hardy have kind of been hanging out more. Hardy and Will have kind of been clicking up, making this little new duo kind of thing. Will is basically like, Mike, go on and quit. I'm gonna find something else to do, and that's what the fuck he's doing. He's finding his Hardy says he kind of likes Will. He kind of feels like, this is kind of cute. So they end up making a deal, and they all three pinky swear that they're going to be in an alliance and that the three of them can help each other out in this game. And Will eats this the fuck up. This is how I know Will is going to eventually be that nigga, because this is crazy. The fact that Hardy and Nicole, the two people who was mainly pushing this nigga to go home week 1 and 2, now they're in an alliance with him, a 3-person alliance with him on the side. Girl. Hardy, I can do no wrong. What?
Right. Is what Hardy was like, literally, I am in this game to make sure Chilltown goes home, and I can leave right after that. I want nothing else. And now he's in the final 3 deal with him. And it's like, that's the thing about Hardy is like, when I saw the situation, like I'm definitely conflicted on what I'm gonna give him for a rating, because the whole I'm not gonna be in the alliance thing and getting Kent to target him basically moving forward, it's like that's bad. But then you still have the Untouchables. Now you have to steal Will. It's like he really, he's able to mess up and still renegotiate his alliances. Like, I won't say this is all him. It's definitely like outside sources. I feel like we usually see this with this archetype, but it's like he's still like in a pretty good position, and that's like, ooh, okay.
He's part of it, After we see Kent complaining and sad that he's targeted by everybody, nobody liked them. He feel like they're all freaks. He always say that. I think he needs to be more social and complain less, low-key, because he stay complaining about it and don't never do nothing about it. Go play the game, King. After this, we see a home visit from the nominees. We see Krista little diner in Appaloosa, Louisiana. What is it called? Appaloosa, Louisiana? That place in Louisiana. They go to her diner, and we see her friends kind of talk about it. They say Krista's the talk of the town already. Everybody loves Krista, and everybody's in Krista's business. Krista knows everybody's business. So she's really nice. And I just wondering when she's going to move up to Hardy. Because right now, her being with Mike, I don't know. I'm just wondering when she's going to move up to Hardy. Honestly, because like I said it earlier, Krista had everybody's eye. She should have went for Hardy. Even though Hardy's like lame, low-key, real sensitive, real woo. At least in the house, like, girl, get the dick. I don't know.
Maybe that's not her type. It definitely is her type. She called him a Greek god.
Yes.
I'm a friend though, because Mike is ugly as hell.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. Mike Boogie's friends or workers were
right. It's not giving friends.
Like they didn't even have much to say about him. I feel like they was like, Mike is the party guy. Like everything we know about Mike is what they said. He's a party guy. He can be the life of the party sometimes. And I just feel like I love Mike because he can be the life of the party. And that Krista girl, she's bad news. She can go. And that was it. That's cute. We move along. Will has a diary room about his vote. He basically says he likes both of them, but he's voting to evict Krista. Duh. We move along. We see that Julie says that according to the Big Brother website, Hardy is the most liked by the internet fans. Will is the least liked, but in the past 48 hours, their relationship has blossomed, and it's
And
took
it's
a turn.
like, how the fuck is Hardy the most like? That's nothing but whores voting on that. Because the body is there, but it's literally nothing else. I would like, how do you like him?
So who's your least favorite? Because they say Will is their least favorite. Who's your least favorite, you feel? If you was in America and you was voting.
My least favorite would be Mike, Hardy, or Kent.
Probably Hardy, actually, now I'm thinking about it. It would probably literally be Hardy as my least favorite. And he's the most favorite back in the day. Maybe it's like the times. We got to be in those times. So, anyways, we get the Will and Hardy joint diary room. Now they best friends, bitch. They're literally in the diary room together talking about some, we just had opposite opinions of each other. And I feel like our morals don't align. But, I like Will and with the. And honestly, I don't see what they like about each other. I think Will just ate Hardy up.
Well, they list a bunch of arbitrary things. Like, we both are pretty boys. We both manscape. We both like pretty women.
And then they started talking about that thing. He said that, and Hardy was like, well, I wasn't really a fan of Shannon, and he was. And it's like, y'all don't really have shit in common.
And then even in the diary room, they have a joint diary room together. And then Hardy's like, oh, I just have certain values and morals that Will doesn't have. And it's like, so you don't like him.
He ate you
like, but that's the thing. At the end of the day, they're really only bonding over hating Kent, and that's why another thing that's why Kent really shouldn't have left Will off the block, because you're allowing him to create these relationships, and then especially with this beef with Hardy. Did we go over the fight?
With what? Kent and who?
Yeah, when Kent said, "Let's do a final 3."
Oh, you know what, child? When is that?
That was before the home visits and stuff like that.
That was a good one.
Another thing that happened throughout this week was, Kent, strategic wannabe king.
Oh, yeah.
He is sitting with Hardy and Bunky. This is after talking about nominating both of them this week. He's like, y'all, we should just be the final 3. Then there's a scene immediately with Nicole where Hardy is telling Nicole what Kent said about the final 3. Then there's a scene, Nicole talking to Kent. And she's like, well, this is what Hardy told me. Kent lies, and he's like, that's what he said to me. Did y'all discuss this in confidence? And she was like, well, no. Oh, he was like, well, yes. And he was like, okay, well, I can't discuss this with him. She was like, no, you can't. Then it cuts to another scene of Hardy being like, now that you told him this, he's not going to tell me anything. And that's when Hardy mentions that Kent has took his place as number 1 on the hit list over Will. And then that's the scene of Will being like, oh, you got a new enemy. Maybe we could, come together, save Mike, or just work together, So it's like Kent literally created this himself.
Yeah, he did. They have a full. Hardy literally calls Kent out about it in front of everybody in the backyard, and Kent basically says, you were the one who brought it up, which he was. And Hardy was like, no, I didn't. And they had a big argument about it. And that's really what I feel like solidified. Well, not even feel like. That's what solidified. Hardy's not fucking that man. That man's gotta go. And it's now like Kent did it, but Kent did it to himself in a way. Like, usually everything he did this week, I feel like, was leading up to this. Like, you putting up Krista. No one wanted you to put up Krista. You asked everybody, what do you want us to do? You threw out Hardy's name. You threw out Bunky's name. Threw out Krista's name. You put up Krista. They all wanted Will and Mike up. Just Dom, Will, and Mike. You didn't want to do it. And then Will doesn't even have all of this for Will to already want to nominate you anyways. Like, you really didn't achieve anything except people not liking you. Like, what
I find the most interesting is how already, like, I'm seeing how Will wins this, because, like, the way the Smoke of the Alliance has fell completely apart. Like, you have Monica and Krista looking at Bunky. You have Monica and Krista looking at Kent. You have Kent looking at Hardy and Krista. Yeah. Nicole looking at Krista and Monica. Fucking the only people who has Will clocked at this moment, I feel like, is probably Bunky and Monica. But they're also both caught up in so many other things because of their little untouchable, Kent and Krista. So I feel like no one is really shooting at Will anymore because of all of this drama stirred up between the Alliance.
Yeah. And it's weird because at this point, I wouldn't say he is. Like, they keep saying he's not a threat right now. And it's like, he kind of isn't at the moment. In real time, as they're experiencing it, I can see why they wouldn't consider him a threat. How's he ever going to get jury votes? But it's like, by the time we get to the end, it's like, all of that is wrapped up, babe. He's going to win. And it's like, damn. People compared a lot to Richard Hatch's win on Survivor, because Richard Hatch was kind of hated. And at the end of the game, he was able to have everyone just want to take him thinking he was so hated. Whole time he's the winner. And it's like, that's the same thing that happened to Will.
Right.
And it's like, I see what they're saying, but also they be wrong. So it's like, do I see it? Like, y'all were wrong. Don't know what to tell you. But do you feel like that's what Monty was thinking with Taylor? Like, no one's ever gonna vote for Taylor. So let me take her to the final two. Because it's like,
because of all of the stuff that was happening earlier in the season. It's like people keep this preconceived idea that this person is disliked, but it's like, how disliked is a person that's sitting in final two? Really?
Clock it. It's like, I feel like every time a person who's winning, because like they play from the bottom, kind of like the only people I can think of is Taylor or Dan, or like Dan and BB10 or Will. It's like they end up winning. Like, you think they were hated. Everyone thought Dan was hated. You thought Taylor was hated. You thought Will was hated. And it's like, by the end of it, yeah, I'm comparing Taylor to Dog.
Well, no, just another thing in general. I feel like a lot of these people who are the heads of their seasons, they really did start off in the minority. I mean, even this season, Nicole and Will, you know, I was thinking like Dan
and
Memphis. Even we just mentioned Taylor. You know, I was like, even Amanda. Amanda was in a majority position. Vanessa wasn't in a majority position a lot. And I feel like once you're put in that minority and you're good enough to get out of it, it's because you've made so many social connections that, well, of course, Tiffany wasn't really in the majority necessarily. You know, they're able to use their social connections to get in the majority and run the game.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of great players, you see them have to get out of sticky situations. And that's kind of how you know they're great, you know?
Right.
When it gets to like the greats, it's like, you know, they're great because they've had to face, you know, adversity like a lot. And I think that's also the issue with one-time players, especially the women, like Maggie. Maggie's a good player, but you don't really see like her play again and go from the bottom to the top. She was kind of running that alliance and they kind of had the numbers. It's like, it's interesting when you see someone go from the bottom. That's why Dan is probably considered the greatest, because he played twice from the bottom, kind of. And it's like, you saw him both times have to climb his way up. So you really, really got to see all of the best parts of his game. You see the people's game the best when they're at the bottom having to get out of it. If someone's running it, it's hard to see how great they is. Like, you don't really know how good Derek is because he ran it.
That's what I'm saying. I would love to see a Cody or a Derek in that type of position, because like I feel like an example of that is a Tyler Crispin, whereas like even in the second version he was in the majority, but he wasn't the one at the head. So that was a situation where we would have been able to see him kind of work to get at the top to have that win, and he didn't do that.
Yeah, that's very true. Paul is like the only one I can think of who kind of did both. Like, he played from the bottom his way up, and then he also played from the top. That's why I feel like Paul is, to me, one of the best players, because he done did it all. He did it all. But Bunky basically clocks. He clocks Will and Hardy's relationship, and he's like, Hardy getting real close to him. It's like, what's going on? Now you kissing Will.
What they Bunky gonna do is clock.
And not do nothing about it, girl. So, after this, Julie, she talks to the house guests, and then they give their speeches. In their speeches, Krista calls out Kent, basically. She says, I just want to check the record straight. When Kent was speaking for himself. I'm a very loyal person. I'm a very loyal friend. And Kent is the main one who tried to start alliances this week, and they blew up in his face. Period. So she called him out. She gagged him real quick. Real fast. So that was a motherfucking eat there. After this, we get the more of their votes. And then we get Kent speaking to Julie in his HOH room. And Julie asked him, what did you think of Krista's speech? And Kent was like, look, everybody in the house wanted to vote, wanted Mike out. That's what's happening. I'll nom Krista because she nommed me. That's just that on that. There were banners, gag, that girl saying that America choice vote, Krista out. She's lying to everyone.
And it's like, America didn't like my sister. I've been trying to find links to find like the favorite polls. I haven't been able to find any of those, but shit, why would you not like Krista?
They don't like nobody associated with Chilltown. They start hating Nicole a lot more and Hardy a lot more because they love Hardy right now. But when Hardy and Nicole start working with Will, they start disliking them. We'll see it later on in the season.
And they do start liking Will though, don't they? Like,
they do start liking Will, but I mean, they've already started hating everybody else. And it's like, that's so crazy. But we see the influence and the impact that America is having on the season already. There's banners now. We see there's a banner that comes up on the show later on. And we see when it comes to the final vote, like there's a lot of just kind of influence. You can tell who America hates. You can tell who America likes. And we're watching an edited show. And it's like us knowing and us being able to tell. I would like to think jurors who are walking around in America, just walking around. You go outside and there's people walking up to you. Big Brother was getting millions and millions, 12 million, 12, 17, a lot of million views at this point. So people are famous. These people go out of this house and they're famous. So of course, if you're walking around in your Appaloosa's diner and they're telling you, girl, it's fuck Nicole, what are you gonna think? Other than it's fuck Nicole.
It's fuck Nicole.
You know what I'm saying? So I really think the influence, we're gonna see how it impacted the end result. But yes, girl, whole banner flying around telling people not to trust Krista. So I feel like my girl was getting a lot of
sabotaged.
Do you feel like it really affects people's game? Do you feel like this really is affecting people's thoughts of Krista, or do you feel like?
I feel like back then it could have, definitely. Mm-hmm. But I know like recently we've seen like with the wall yellers, they don't really do much. But I feel like it's also because the way people are set up in the game, like the most notorious one recently was Cody and Nicole and All Stars, and everyone, like I remember Ian, he woke up for a day and then went right back to sleep. Because in the new era BB, like once you have a certain control, like a lot of people kind of just go with that status quo, especially in that season. That's kind of like the theme that Cody set with his first HOH. You know, we're all in this group together. This safety in numbers. Stay with the group. You won't go home. So it's like, because of that, it's like it's going to take way more for people to get out of their comfort zone. And Nicole and Cody's was everyone's comfort zone at that moment. So it didn't do shit at all. But in these earlier seasons, like things aren't as established. So I can definitely see something like that being like, oh, well, I mean, she is untrustworthy, and that banner was there. Clearly, America thinks so too. Like, I could definitely see how it being a real reason.
Yeah, exactly. So Julie also asked him why he took the deal with Will. He basically said his target was Mike, and that Krista nominated him. Same thing. So then we just get to the vote. Mike gets evicted 4-1. The only person who saved him is Will.
Ride or
die. And he walks out the house and he gives Krista his lucky, allegedly, rock. And I'm thinking, baby, you done just gave her a death wish. Because how is this lucky in your whole alliance and you are out of the game?
That started week 1. He's been unlucky and dumb from the beginning. That rock ain't lucky at all. Krista will be out soon.
Yes. And he said, look, I know it's bad luck to tell you my wish, but I wish for you to win. What?
He set her up.
Mike was like, I want her to lose so that way she's desperate when I ask her. Anyway, it was a setup. I'm just letting y'all know it was a setup. It was a setup. I ain't gonna spoil it though. So he goes out to his interview. Girl, this interview was, when I tell you, I looked at the clock and we was 20 minutes in and there was 20 more minutes left and we had this interview. This interview went on forever and ever and ever. I don't give a fuck.
And I feel like that would be something at first I thought was like needed in New Era. I'm definitely fine with the cute 4 or 5 minute interviews. Get them out of here. I don't care. I don't care, baby. On the top tomorrow.
Yeah, do your interviews later. And go see my extended interview. Yeah, let's see that. The extended interview later.
This was the entire extended interview, baby. They showed the whole thing here.
And she wasn't even asking nothing like that. Like, it's just the same thing. What went wrong? He said Justin getting evicted, and then we getting fucked up on the thing. And he ends up seeing his goodbye messages with Will and Krista. They say they really like him. They love him. They're going to miss him. Same shit. Congratulations. Good for him. He's gone.
The only good question here is when she asks, so who do you think will win?
Ooh.
And he says Nicole or Krista. And he gives more detail about Nicole. He's like, she's overcome so much since week 1. She rides the fence, so he feels like she's smart enough not to commit to any one direction. He knows who the fuck mother is, and he explained her game perfectly. It definitely makes me feel like if she just didn't go to final 2 with Will, she probably could have had it. Because I'm thinking, like, I always thought Monica probably wins either way. But I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, like, even if she was next to Monica, she'll tell never had a relationship with Monica. That's 3 votes. And then she had Autumn, and maybe even Cheryl.
She had Hardy as well.
And Hardy and Bunky. She would have won. I
don't know why
her except Krista.
I don't know why she went with Will. Well, I know why she went with Will, but she was just so wrong. She was just so wrong about by how people perceive Will at that point, and it's like that's.
But it's like how, like he has at least 2 set votes, maybe even 3 with Krista. Yeah. I mean, especially what happens with Krista.
That's very true. That's
and Monica,
true.
Like, girl, I don't think she was delusional because ain't no way.
She wasn't. I think she just got so wrapped up in the idea of I'm gonna win this time. Everyone hates him. No one will ever vote him. I don't think she was thinking about what the votes were. I think she was just thinking no one likes him in general, and it's like, girl, please. And then I could see next to Monica, it's like everyone likes her. Oh my God, everyone likes her. And it's like it's she wasn't really thinking about the votes, but you got to remember this is the first time there are votes. This is the first time ever there's votes. So hey, boom. After this, we get to the HOH competition. It's just questions about the past house guests, everyone who's been evicted. It was very cute. Love this HOH. Really, really, really cute. And it comes down to Hardy and Nicole.
Krista stands out there. I was gagged. Okay, I was so scared because I was like, if Nicole wins, she's going after Krista. It's over for her. I know it's gonna be annoying as fuck this week, but I was so happy Hardy won this because Krista's safe. My girls are safe.
Yep. So and Nicole was interesting. Nicole keeps coming to the end of these comps. She's gonna end up winning an HOH because she stayed being
and girl, Krista, you better win veto when she do.
What veto?
I know. And then Julie asks Hardy, she says, Hardy, so do you know who you're gonna nominate? I do.
He said I do. That was it. It was a weird question.
And then his answer. His answer
was so direct. It's like, oh my God.
Not girl, I know Kent ass is out next. I don't gotta
Kent was shaking. Oh my God. Kent was in the room. He was after he saw Hardy won. He was in the kitchen. Shaking. He finna go see them children.
And he gotta talk to his daughter about why he put up Boogie, the man.
Why he put up Mike Boogie. Mike Boogie ate that up. I'm sorry.
Look, now Hardy got revenge for Boogie.
No, he got revenge for himself.
Gag it.
Period. Mike Boogie went home. He got made a little far. Mm-hmm. What would you give Mike Boogie as an overall?
I mean, this week he basically quit. I feel like his reads have been wrong from the beginning, and he was in a position to where he didn't have to go down with the Chilltown ship, and he just really chose to. Even this week, I do believe there was a real chance he probably could have stayed, especially with the alliance that Will makes with Hardy and Nicole. But he refused to go speak to her because he wanted to save Krista, someone who is not worried about him like that for real, girl. It's a 1. I'm sorry.
Ooh. Damn. God damn. Yeah, Mike, he just done a lot of helping his allies instead of helping himself. I do think Mike is just naturally more likable than I guess the rest of Chilltown, and just likable in general. He won the first HOH just based off of his social game. I do think people preferred Will. I feel like there's certain people who still would have preferred Will, but Kent didn't, and he didn't give a damn. I feel like Mike has strategic thoughts sometimes, and I guess I like that, especially since this is the first ever season. But like you said, he just bowed out. He quit. Similar to a lot of these other people who left. And it's like, why are y'all quitting? Y'all need to stop doing that. But he quit. He really went down with the sinking ship, knowing it was sinking, and he did no work to try to stay. It was weird. Like Will and Nicole basically had his food heated up in the microwave, and he just never went to open the microwave. And it's like, that's weird if you don't go do something. But I do think he has like some good qualities here and there. So I'll give him a 2.5. That's all. Will, girl, Dr. Will has entered the building, bitch.
Turns around, girls.
Dr. Will has entered the building. So I really, really like Will. I like what he did because not only did he take Mike's advice and pitch himself as a lone wolf who everybody hates, but also Mike did this and it didn't work, and he did it and it worked. It worked. He did not get nominated because of it. He made a deal with Kent, and Kent believes it. He's lying about the deal. Love that. He threw Mike under the bus in the deal. Love that. He's very, very clearly he's all about self-preservation. He's preserving himself, and he's self-interested, and it's working. I think he's built this relationship with Nicole that started building 2-3 weeks ago, and it's really coming in handy. He now has an alliance with Hardy and Nicole secretly. The fact that he's linking up with Hardy and Nicole, two of the most influential people in the house at all, is really, really good. Kent and Krista are kind of coming after each other, so there's a distraction going on. Hardy and Kent got beef, so there's a lot of stuff going on that makes me feel like Will probably won't be targeted soon anymore. I also feel like he was part of the reason that he's not targeted soon. He really did this. He set himself up well in this game. I feel like it might be like this is the first week this has happened, so it's still a little early for me. But I feel so much better. Like you said it earlier, it's like relatable to Nicole week one, how much he flipped everything around this week. It's really, really impressive and good. Um, I just feel like I have no real. Well, I know he wins, but I have no real proof that this is gonna work for the long term. So I gotta wait for that. So right now, this was really good though. So right now, I'll give him. Hmm. Damn, I don't know. This was good work, but how good? His like I feel like his history is what's holding me back because his history in the game is still negative. And at this point, I'm still not sure he could win, even though I know he can. Still not sure he can win. I'm gonna give him a 6.5 for this week. And we're gonna see what we're gonna do in the future.
I definitely feel comfortable going with the 7, mainly because I know Hardy is the HOH going into this next week, and he is going to be safe with that. He also still has a relationship with Krista. Krista and Monica are looking at Kent, and then I'm pretty sure Bunky is going to get some damage from that as well. If Hardy is going after Bunky this week, the likely person to sit next to him probably is Bunky. So I think that's probably going to take Bunky's eyes from looking at Will. I just don't. It's hard to not include what I know is going to happen at the end of this, but I am trying to keep it up to this week, and I feel like even based off this week, because of the work that we saw him put in previously, even with all the negatives, I think it does warrant the 7, because just in general, I don't see how he gets nominated moving forward now. Like there are so many other duos now in the game. He doesn't have that, and I feel like that's also what helped Nicole from the beginning as well. She didn't have this person that she was attached to. So I think it's really going to help him moving forward, especially because the person he's mainly connected to is Nicole and Hardy. Nicole and Hardy, I mean, look at our ratings last week, are the 2 best people set up in the game. So I think he ate that. Like, I mean, I see why he takes the win. I really do.
Period. How you
like,
feeling
this is
about?
It. Like this is we're really.
And I
remember when it happened, I was like, oh, it's probably going to give like 3, 4. Girl,
he ate this up.
Like it full 360, 180, full 180.
Yep. How you feeling about Kent?
Kent, child, as the HO. I mean, we've seen some bad HOHs, but girl, this is terrible. I mean, all he did was piss people off this week. He went around wanting to nominate close allies. I mean, even putting up Krista and just straight up dragging her in his speech. I mean, people were not agreeing with him. I do think that he has made some like the whole like putting the target on Krista's back. I feel like Nicole kind of has definitely latched onto that, and so is Bunky. But an overall like house target, he hasn't been successful in. I feel like all he's been successful in doing is ruining his own position. And Hardy is the HOH. So he is most definitely going up. There is no veto. So I don't see how he doesn't just go straight home next week. I'm going to definitely just say it's a 2. I feel like I respect the activeness in a game player like Kent, but I was saying in the beginning when we started this, like, him being active doesn't do much if it doesn't stick. And they're really stuck. Like, the reason why that final 3 went to Nicole so quickly is because Hardy don't like him like that. But Kent isn't socially aware enough to realize that.
Yeah. I think Kent played this week terribly. He wanted to target Mike, and instead of just putting up Will, how everybody expected, he put up Krista. He walked around telling everybody he was probably going to put up Hardy or Bunky, which made them feel upset with him. That was terrible. He ended up getting caught, even though it was Hardy, and making a deal with with Hardy, him and Bunky, but he wanted to make the deal too. He ended up getting caught in that. Him and Hardy had a whole argument. Hardy's arguably one of the most influential people in the house. He now has beef with Krista because not only the way he nominated her, but Krista said herself, I'm less mad that he nominated me and more mad at his speech, claiming that everybody felt this type of way about her and they didn't. So Monica's a duo with Krista and Nicole's a duo with Hardy. So it seems like everyone would target Kent this week. And Will made a deal with him and said he'd still target him. So Kent didn't do anything right this week. He pissed off all his allies, and he's probably going home because Hardy's HOH. I'm giving him a 1.
Ooh.
That's kind of nice. 0.5 actually.
Ah.
0.5.
Get him.
Bunky. Now, Bunky's kind of been in the same area. He's been in the 6s all game. And I feel like that's because that's what he is. I just feel like Bunky is smart. He's very aware. He has Hardy's game clocked. He has Krista's game clocked. He has Will's game clocked. But what else? You know, you kind of have to do something about all of this information you have. You're a very, very smart person. And I think Bunky is still okay at positioning. Like, I feel like, actually, him, Monica, and Hardy are the only 3 people to never be nominated. I feel like that's a testament. That's a testament to his social game and his positioning. And I think he's a smart guy, smart enough to like prevent himself from getting nominated. I think that's Bunky's strength. Bunky, there's you know how you say how we've been saying every kind of archetype has been in the season. Bunky's the archetype who's great at self-preservation. Like Kevin from BB22, like you're just really, really good at and Mimi, he's kind of like Mimi a little bit too. Like you're good at self-preservation and you're very smart. But what else? And the same thing with Mimi is how I'm feeling about Bunky. That's it. That's who Mimi is. That's who Mimi is. Like, you know everything. You say it. You tell us. We get it. But what else? You're just sitting here, kind of just sitting in that. And I think it's good. And I think it's better. This is the difference between Mimi and Bunky. Mimi played BB25. Bunky is on BB2. So for Bunky to do this now, I think it's way like a little bit more better than Mimi doing it now, you know? So it's like, I like that a little better. I like the fact that he's doing this more, but it's still not enough. It's really, really not enough. But I still can't see Bunky being targeted. He might be a pawn next to Kent. He might even be a pawn next to Krista if she's a target, or anybody who is a target. But I don't think he will be the target ever, really. I can't see when someone is really going to target Bunky. Even Hardy and Nicole being with Will, I kind of right now, pretending I don't know what happened, I'm expecting them to still target Will before they target Bunky. So in my head right now, it doesn't feel like people will actually target Bunky, which is why I still want to give him the 6. But I know the tea, y'all. I know the truth.
And see, I will say I am gonna knock him down a peg. I think I want to go with the 5.5 because I just feel like I agree with what you're saying, but you know, at this point, the game is really starting to change. Like alliances are starting to shift. The other people does not exist anymore, and he's heavily connected to Kent. And I feel like I do kind of disagree with you on that. I feel like Bunky can easily be targeted because what is he really doing for anybody? At all. The difference between a Bunky and a Will is that Will works. Will has been consistently working, and we're finally starting to see the fruits of that labor. I don't doubt that moving into this week, that Bunky will be the one next to Kent, and who is the one who's going to be in Hardy's ear all week in his new alliance? Will. I just feel like it's getting to a point where what we've been saying about Bunky not having these solidified relationships is coming back to bite him. And we're going into top 6. And it's going to be top 5, I feel like he can easily just go because he's not in the group, you know?
Yeah. He doesn't have value. He's not really valuable to anybody.
And that's the issue. And that's kind of what the issue was happening to Mimi. She became collateral damage because it's like, we don't know who you're targeting. We don't know who you're going to go after. We don't know who you're with. So we can't really do anything with you.
Yeah.
And like you said, while he has everyone clocked, it's like he doesn't have any real, I feel like, protection. And I don't think his social game at this point is going to save him once it gets down to the nitty gritty. Because like we're in top 7, I'm assuming Kent will just go. Now we're at top 6. It's like Krista may go, you could go. Like he's not in anything. Once Kent goes, he's not in anything. And I could say, okay, he may can play this, lone wolf game, but that's the Dr. Will, Nicole spot, and they are kind of still occupying that. I don't think Bunky will be able to compete with that. So yeah, I don't really see it for him.
How you feeling about Krista? No.
I love Krista so much. I really do. I loved her when I very very first watched this season, which was way before this, and it sucks. It sucks analyzing the downfall of her game because she was so queenie, and now it's just like, it's like she is definitely on the brink of leaving this game. I feel like Nicole got her eyes on her. Kent and Bunky saying they don't trust her. I do feel like her social game is still better than most. Like I don't think she's gonna be like necessarily like immediately targeted. Like for example, this week Hardy's DHOH and she's good. If Will wins, if Monica wins, she still has outs. If Bunky is separated from Kent, maybe she can get Bunky on her side. I feel like definitely with this week, that's what I want to see. Krista needs to start, realigning herself with people, making a stronger bond with Nicole, making sure she, the Untouchables is locked in, making sure she has something with a Bunky, and she doesn't really have that. I can definitely see in a situation where Nicole or Bunky get power, and she is on the block, and if she is nominated, I do think that she will go home at this point because her game has been exposed a lot. It's really iffy because it's like I feel like I want to give her a low score, but at the same time, she's in top 7, very much likely going in the top 6 because Hardy's the HOH, and that's still very impressive. And I feel like at top 6 she could be targeted, but it's also a high chance she could not be. I don't know. It's hard. It really is hard. I think I'm gonna go with the 5.5 with her as well. Just because I think that's fitting because I do think her and Bunky are in similar positions. Like their games could kind of both go either way. With Krista, I feel like she's mainly getting a lower score because of the less activeness in her game. I just feel like even with this being BB2, we just kind of see her take a step back when it comes to making sure she's good with people and making sure that they could really, really trust her. Like a lot of her own alliances haven't been trusting her to I feel like a level where she should be at. So yeah. I can't hear you.
I agree. I feel scared for her because she is targeted by people. Nicole has her very, very clearly clocked, and Nicole has a lot of control right now. She has this main alliance with Hardy and Will, and she's pretty influential. So I'm scared that could be something that can get her gone. But we know Hardy's HOH. We know Hardy's been protecting her recently. So I feel like she's going to be safe this round, and she's going to make the top 6. And I feel like she still has potential for if Monica or Will win HOH that they might protect her. So I agree. Like I feel like she has protection potentially, or she could win. She could win HOH. She's won an HOH. So it's like I feel like she has a chance to keep going. She still has room in this game, I feel. But there's also a chance that she could get targeted. But I don't know. It's still interesting because we don't have feed. So we don't really know how Hardy specifically feels. Because Hardy might never nom her. And it's like we might think, okay, maybe Nicole, but maybe Nicole can't convince Hardy to nom her. He didn't nom her last time. He said they're equal in his eyes the last time we heard. So it's still possible that Kent's going home. Bunky's not going to have anybody. Nicole might be the only person who will nom Krista. It still might be that no one else will nom Krista. So I feel like that's still a possibility. So I like that. And I think she's still a good player. I feel like she still has a lot of awareness. She kind of has Will clocked where a lot of people might not. But she doesn't have Nicole clocked. And Nicole's the main girl. So I think I'm going to give her the 6. Don't feel great.
You don't feel terrible.
Don't feel just terrible. Not yet. Monica's next. Now Monica's still mother for me. Monica to me is kind of like a little bit in the Bunky position in the Krista her duo, whereas if she's nommed against Krista, she's staying. Just like if Bunky's nommed against Kent, he's staying. I feel like Monica is someone who, even more so than anybody else, I don't see getting targeted soon. I feel like people like Krista, Kent is obviously probably going to get targeted. And right now, I still feel like Will should be targeted before someone like Monica. And even if someone targets this other side, I feel like Hardy might be the one. Like if Bunky decides, oh, I want to take a shot, I feel like he might take a shot at Hardy before her. So I feel like Monica is really, really safe right now, still, how she has been the entire game. But with Monica, it still comes down to her strategicness. Like she was in the Untouchables, but now the Untouchables being changed because Hardy's now in this new group with Nicole and Will. She's not a part of that. I feel like she has a good bond with Bunky, a good bond with Krista, and they won't target her. And I don't think Hardy and Will and them will target her either, but still, she's not in it. You're still not in it. So I'm starting to feel less good about her because you have to be secure. You have to have a secure final three. And now that Hardy isn't really a secure final three member anymore, you don't have that. You really kind of don't have anything. You have Krista, who's a big target right now, and your relationships. So I don't feel too good about her as much as I did. I think I'm going to bring her down to the 6.5.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything you're saying. That's why I wanted to bring her down to the 6. It's just there isn't enough security in her safety for me. I do think that she could end up going in a collateral damage situation. But immediately she's still pretty safe. If she goes up next to Krista, I do believe she'll stay. I think she'll stay next to Bunky. Like you were saying, she should stay next to Will, but who knows at this point. Yeah, I definitely don't think it's any immediate danger. I do think she can rebound, especially if a Krista goes, because then she'll be in that lone wolf type of position. But, past this week, the Untouchables isn't going anywhere. It's just that next week is where I think it'll get really, really interesting because with Kit out of the game, it really is everyone who is either strategically good or socially good up until this point. Like, who is going to be the target? And I do think that, it could be Krista and Monica will be nominated next to her, which would not be good for her game because Krista being nominated and Krista leaving both would be terrible for her. But I do think she'll be able to rebound from that. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah. How you feeling about Hardy?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier in the pod, Hardy's giving me mixed emotions because when he started off this week, going to all his allies and canceling all of his alliances and pissing people off, it just gave very much no, we did not get this man to 8. But then we see him kind of re-solidify this alliance with Nicole and Will. Will is someone that would probably still target Hardy, to be honest, to be fair, if he went to HOH. But with this alliance in place, it isn't going to be as simple as him just putting him up. We're getting down to the wire, so it won't be, difficult, I feel like, for Will to make that decision. It's not that many people in the house. He might as well just put Hardy up. But now it's Will has to consider the fact he is in this alliance with this man. And most times, that works with people. If you're in a group with someone, they don't necessarily want to make that move because they know it will turn against their entire group. And at this point, that group is all Will have right now. There is no other Chill Town. So I can see him kind of backing away from that Hardy target. And he does still have the Untouchables. He's the outgoing. He's shit. He is the next HOH, and he is going to be targeting Kent. Kent is likely leaving, so the person who was looking at him the most is out of the game. I don't think Bunky is necessarily going to be targeting Hardy after this. If he can make sure Will doesn't, it goes back to a point where no one in the game is targeting Hardy. I don't like how he approached this week, though, so I am going to bring him down to a 7. But I do feel like he is still set up pretty well, especially if he takes out Kent this week.
Yeah, he's set up very, very well. Because he has 2 final threes. No one else here does. He has the final 3 with Monica and Krista on one side, and then Nicole and Will. Like I said last time, he has this Onion alliance.
He continues to play middles of groups.
Yeah, he had an Onion alliance last week, and now it's not an onion. It's kind of like a Venn diagram, and he's in the middle of the Venn diagram. And he's just the most set up. He just really, really is. I don't necessarily think it's because he's strategic. You saw this week, he did not want to be strategic. He didn't want to talk about the game all week. I just think he's people trust him. People like him because of his archetype. And that helps. That's still good. But we saw how he wanted to play the game. He didn't want to be at the beginning of the week. He didn't want to even talk about it, all of this other stuff. But then you see at the end how he's down with Will and he's down with the evil, and now he's got to do it. So it's at the end of the day, he's just a liar. And really, he is wanting to play the game. He really does want to win. And that's the thing. I wish Hardy would just get off of his high horse and just own it. Just and not even just own it, but also do it, because he has the potential to be he could be in contention for one of the best. He could have won this season if he wasn't on this big ass, I'm better than this game and I'm above it all. He could have just played how he really wanted to play. Because if you're playing with Dr. Will, you're playing dirty. You you are. So you might as well just play dirty this whole time and won this damn game instead of trying to be that nigga and that girl. I think he's just this smart. I think he has the capability of playing like Cody. Just like Cody is likable and liked and woo, and he can also get down and dirty with the strategy. And I feel like Hardy could if he just wasn't on this I'm better than high horse. So that's annoying, but also it hinders his game a little bit. And I feel like if it keeps coming up to where he's like, you're on week 5 and you're saying you don't want to talk game, you can't be doing that.
Right.
You can't.
We're too deep in it. We're halfway through.
You can't be doing that. So I'm gonna give him the 7-2 because that's gonna hinder his game. That's gonna continue to hinder his game. But we move. Oh, mother.
The best for last, always. No,
she's never gonna not be. She's never gonna not be mother. She is not in the same position as Hardy. She doesn't have 2 different alliances. So there's that. I feel like her position is like not the highest in the game, but still pretty good. Because Krista and Monica are kind of targeting the Kent and Bunky duo. Kent's probably going to go home this week, though. So I'm kind of thinking if Kent goes home, who is Krista and Monica actually going to target? And it might be her. Krista's cool with Will. So I'm thinking if Krista wins HOH after Kent leaves, then Bunky. What? Then what? I mean, it's not giving Bunky. But Bunky next to who? Like that's why
Nicole, you're right.
That's why I'm wondering. I'm wondering like she's not that safe because I feel like we're running out of people and she is going to be someone who I feel like she isn't in the Untouchables. And because she's not in the Untouchables, it only leaves 2 or 3 people outside of it. So it puts her at a higher risk than other people. But I still feel like, on the other hand, she has Will, she has Hardy, and Bunky and her are really close. So I think if anybody does nominate her, it might be Krista or Monica. But I still feel like Monica's targeting Will more, and Krista, like you said, could target Bunky more. She could target Will herself. Who knows what Krista's going to do? So I feel like she has a slight risk, but not too much. I love the way she plays this game because she has Krista clocked. And that is her biggest competition. That's the smartest person in the house other than her. She also has Will under her wing, and that's a really, really good thing. She's the one convincing Hardy to kind of work with Will, like bring him in on this thing. Will pitched the alliance with her, him, and Mike, and it ended up being her, him, and Hardy, her number 1. So clearly Nicole is diverting things towards what's going to be best for her. And she's still like, I feel like leading the strategy of this game regardless. So I feel good about her still. I'm just slightly not that confident on her position the way I used to be. Like I was like, oh, you got it. But now I'm kind of like, you really only have kind of 1 alliance right now. And that's kind of scaring me. So I'm going to still give her a high score, but not like that. I'm going to give her 7.5. Give her a 7.5. Period.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the 7.5 as well. She's definitely benefiting from a lot of the chaos, not necessarily any solidified group. Yeah. Which is okay because the only one she has right now is the Will and Hardy situation. But also because of the type of player that she has been, like Mike said it herself, she rides the fences. So everyone feel like they have some type of working relationship with Nicole in this game. And because of that, for the next few weeks, I still think she's going to be touched. Like I can definitely see why she ended up in the position she was because if I didn't know, I would still be saying that I expect her to be in the finals of this game. Like no one is targeting Nicole. And you're right, like Krista might, but then we have to get there. And I mean, Nicole already looking at Krista. Mm-hmm. So it definitely matters about who's going to strike first.
Yeah. And I remember I talked about the jury vote thing. The jury vote thing still applies because Mike said leaving, Nicole is playing the best game alongside Krista. So it's like she still has every evicted person's jury vote.
Person praising her. Like
yeah. So that's also a really good plus. So she's still at the top, baby. Boom. It's in order. Damn, everyone kind of has a goodish score. Now I'm thinking, you know what I was thinking while watching?
The good players are left.
What I was thinking, I was like, I genuinely think the best 6 players made it to the top 6. And
definitely.
It's like, I really do think that because we know Kent's going home. Kent got the worst score. And then after that, we have a tie with Bunky and Krista. And then Monica right above them, then Will, and then Hardy and Nicole at the top 2. But honestly, like, a lot of these players, I feel like, are really just the best players in the game, like, and not even just this season. I think these are generally good players. Honestly, I think these are people who would generally all make it to the end of a lot of seasons. If Bunky was on BB25, I could see him still make it to the end, or Monica, or Krista, or like I see these archetypes at the end of the game.
For
Mimi,
sure.
Mimi got like ninth place. Monica, I can see her like an Ozzy. Ozzy got third. You know, like these are people who in even new era seasons, the way they're playing this game would still be successful. And it's like, ooh, that eats. That eats. They have some smart people. This is like a lot of smart people in this cast. What happened to the casting being good?
I also had noticed too, girl, we need to get some men about this house because it's only 3 women left. I just realized that this week. Like, these men need to go. They need to be canned hard. You don't get whipped.
in that order. In that order. In that order. Boom. But yeah, we hear y'all. This is a really good week. I'm excited for it to keep going good because I feel like it's getting better and better every week, honestly. I'm loving this season, period. All right, y'all. That was week 4. Make sure you tune in next week on Tuesday for week 5 and Thursday for week 6. Every Tuesday, Thursday, we'll be back with the BB Rewinds. So make sure you're into that or whatever. And we're also covering The Traitors. Girl, the premiere of The Traitors is tomorrow. It was going to be a little earlier, but we got some tea that tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central is when they're going to drop the 3 episodes. Damn, what time is that we going live? After that, we'll potentially go live. And honestly, follow us at TV Reality Kingdom because we post when we're going to post our videos, and we got to think about that. And then on Saturday is when we do the Traitors UK. So tune in for the Traitors UK recaps. We already have our cast reaction to the Traitors US, and we have our Traitors UK premiere episode 1 through 3 already out. So go check those out or whatever. There's Big Brother people on the Traitors, so get into that or whatever. And thank you for keeping it real with the Kingdom. We out.